Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, collectors, hobbyists, friends, members of the Tony Giese fan club, which is large and illustrious.
There's not even one person in that fan club.
This is our closing show for our spring collectibles catalog auction. Thank you for joining us. I'm Mike Provenzale, the production manager at Heritage Sports, and on my right is the handsomest, most popular, bear-huggingest man in the industry. I know you've got a bear hug from him, Mr. Tony Giese. Tony, how you doing tonight?
It's been a while. We haven't had a show in quite some time.
A few months, I know.
It's been, and I like the way that we dressed for the occasion.
You got the memo about the uniforms, looking very sharp, dry fit, so none of the sweat stains this time.
Oh, I like it. No, this is my first time wearing it.
Our wardrobe department, that, we have a hair department, a makeup department, dozens of people that do wardrobe, and now we've made it a lot simpler for them.
I need a lot of help.
Yeah, that's
Trust
for
me,
sure.
I need a lot of help.
But we've got so much going on tonight. We've got session 1, which is the cards. Tomorrow will be session 2, the memorabilia. And then Saturday night, we have the final session. Still open bidding right now. You can get your bids in. Extended bidding begins at 10 p.m. Central Time, which is just under 2 hours from now, for all the cards in session 1. And we're going to be talking about our favorites, things that are moving up the charts, things that are a little under-recognized, our favorite items from all 3 sessions, all 3 nights. Tonight, we're going to take you through extended bidding at 10 p.m. We're going to talk about items from all 3 sessions. And of course, if you are watching us on a platform that allows you to comment, we got a lot of platforms going tonight, Tony. Please feel free to give us a question. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to talk about what you want to bid on, what you're bidding on. If you don't want to share, that's fine.
And we also have some of the auction highlights. Which is really cool. And now when I came in here, Mike said, do not touch anything.
I mean, I say that every time Tony comes in.
Yes, and I made sure not to even stand near it because if I fell into it,
We have some collections, player collections from luminaries, Hall of Famers, notables that delved into their own collection to offer items that you can add to your collection tonight. We're going to talk about those. Of course, we have record-setting items, including one that is a current NFL record over my right shoulder right there, Tony. And we're just going to talk hobby. We're glad you're joining us tonight. If you're watching us on one of the other platforms, you can also watch us at ha.com on the recent bid screen and watch the bids come in live. And Tony is manning the big board over there. Tony, what bids have come in since we started?
We've got 1976 George Brett, PSA 9, 3,800 with none higher.
We have an amazing George Brett card collection, the finest I've ever seen, the finest anyone's ever seen. First taste, the first part is tonight. He's lacking only 3 George Brett cards that exist, and many of them are the highest graded examples. So if you're a George Brett fan, we know we are. Tony, remember when we sold the Pine Tar jersey?
Yes, we
did. A few years
that's
ago.
Right, that's
momentous occasion. So that's a huge one. What else you got on the big board?
Let's see. We've got 1934 to 36 Paul Wainer, mint 9, 2,300. We got some big numbers also. Let's see. I just saw one.
Tony, you can put those glasses on. Don't be afraid.
Yes, 90,000 for 1958 Topps baseball PSA graded set, master set.
Oh wow, that's a nice one.
Yeah, a lot of things are starting to move, and as it gets closer to 10 o'clock, you'll see a lot of action. And we always love doing this. We love watching the bids come in. You put in all this hard work, and you want to see the end result.
So huge auction. There's everything. Whatever you collect, whatever you want to collect, it's going to be yours tonight, tomorrow, or the next night. And 4,500 plus lots. Tony, did you write all 4,500?
I felt like I did.
Yeah, a lot. There was 2 catalogs to contain it all. Catalogs were 8.5 pounds. If they ended up on your doorstep, I'm sure you remember. I hope everyone lifted with their knees, not with their back. So we're going to go through them all. We've got cards, we've got sets, we've got wax, all kinds of memorabilia. Player collections, as we mentioned, awards, autographs, tickets. We're going to talk about the trends and talk about the items. And I've been yammering on about.
Well, you mentioned it being 8 pounds as far as the weight of that catalog.
Over 8 pounds.
I remember when I first started here 10 years ago, one catalog. Yep. It was cards, and then memorabilia was within one catalog. And now it's turned into something You could have never
Unbelievable.
guessed.
Yeah, huge. And as always, a big thank you to our consigners for trusting us with your treasures. We're going to give you some big checks tonight. And good luck to all the bidders. We know you're feverishly watching at ha.com. And good luck tonight in the auction. But let's start it off with one of my favorites, Tony. We have been very lucky at Heritage to sell a few of these. There's only a handful out there. This is the 1916 M1014 Sporting News Babe Ruth rookie. He's the cornerstone of the hobby, Tony.
He is.
And his rookie card, look at it there. A beauty. 1916, the season that saw the future home run king raises Dinger total to 7.
Wow.
So, which was a big number at the time. So this one is obviously historic and amazing. Presents beautifully. The off-center graphic there is the obvious flaw, but it has escaped the severe edges and corner wear that's so typical of cards like that. It's over 100 years old.
And the thing is, everybody, gravitates towards rookie cards, and what better one they have than a Babe Ruth?
Yeah, and this is a 6-figure card, of course, but you could almost say Ruth's rookie is a little underappreciated. Ruth, the king of the hobby in many ways, and but a lot of other rookie cards get a lot more attention. A lot of other cards, the Honus Wagner, of course, the 52 Topps Mantle, but this is the king himself, his rookie card right here.
And he's pitching too.
Yeah, love that.
It's so funny to
the
see
Red
him
Sox,
yeah.
A great image, and it's going to find a new owner tonight. And we have an incredible 51 Bowman Mantle rookie in an 8 that we're going to talk about later. But first, this is one of my favorites, talking about underappreciated cards. This is the 52 Burke Ross Mickey Mantle. And you may recognize the image from this one,
the photo looks a
Tony.
little familiar.
And this one is in a PSA near mint to mint 8. Same image as the 51 Bowman, just a little faded out colors on it. But it's one that is very rarely seen. It was a regional issue, so it saw limited release. Has a generous proportion of players from the New York area. And we have a great collection of Burke Ross cards in this auction. There's a fabulous Joe DiMaggio one, Yogi Berra, Campy, and Jackie Robinson as well. So there's just over 300 of this card, the Mantle, in the PSA population, and there's only one higher than this 8. So another one that is a true rarity.
Especially a PSA 8.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so hard to get those high grades, and
especially now.
It's really, really hard now.
So what do you got, Tony? I've been yammering on.
Yeah, you mentioned Babe Ruth, just a nice small photo. Typically the one he would sign in the 40s when he was into retirement. Pretty bold autograph, a little pen saturation, but a real nice Ruth. And signed it on the standard left-hand side.
Classic Ruth image.
Yeah. And, when you talk about cornerstone, you talk about, autographs, he's the one. Even if you're not a baseball fan, he's the one that still moves the radar. Right. He always has, and he always will.
Yeah, and we've got another great Ruth photo I saw today from the 34 Tour of Japan. And it's a snapshot photo. He's signed at the bottom, and he's wearing the All-American jacket.
I know what you're talking about. He's got the jacket on.
Which is great. We've sold a few team photos where they're all wearing those jackets, but a great image. It's got a great autograph, and then it's the aging Ruth, of course. He looks a little weathered in it, but that's part of the history. So, of course, plenty of great Ruth items, signed balls. There's a great Ruth signed ball from the filming of Pride of the Yankees. That has some outstanding provenance. So everybody's into Ruth. If you're watching this, I'm sure, have at it as far as the Ruth collectibles. Memorabilia is closing tomorrow night. Cards tonight. We're going to talk plenty of cards. But while we're talking Yankees, and we have the Ruth rookie, talking about the opening, tickets have been a big story in the industry for the last few months. We set the auction record for a ticket in February with the Jackie Robinson debut ticket at $480,000. And here's another huge debut in MLB history. This is the 1951 Mickey Mantle debut ticket. His first game in pinstripes right there in the outfield with the aging Joe DiMaggio.
Wearing number 6.
Wearing number 6. Just a 19-year-old kid from Oklahoma. And you know what I love about the debut tickets, which have become so valuable and popular, is thinking about how they felt that day, their first day in the majors. Can you imagine? I know you dreamed
Yankee
of
Stadium.
playing.
Oh my God, are you kidding? I still dream about it. I'm 46 and I still dream about making the big leagues.
So this one is a stub. So fulls are generally more valuable, but the stub was actually there for the event.
At the game. And that was his first hit. Didn't he have? Was that his first hit too?
First hit.
It's a first hit and debut.
This one's from the lower stand, so they had a
better
good
view
view of the dawning of a new era in Yankees history. And this is one of just 19 in the PSA population.
It's just incredible. They go from DiMaggio. Well, no, they go, Ruth, Gehrig, DiMaggio, then Mantle. There's always somebody there to kind of take that,
take the torch. Just like the Mavericks with Dirk and Luka. We got the game going on tonight. Tony, if you want to give us score updates, I wouldn't mind that either.
I'll try to help out.
But that Mantle ticket, cool little addition. It also has the original Yankees ticket office mailing envelope in there with it.
There can't be many of those.
So good story.
Cool
keeping the ticket, you get it. It's rare for people to keep a ticket, especially this long, but who kept the envelope?
One guy.
This is the one right here. So I'm excited to see what that one's going to do tomorrow night. Tony, what do you got? Some more Yankees history?
This one here is one of the coolest items, and not because I'm a football fan or anything like that. The 1919 George Halas signed Yankees player contract.
This could have changed football history forever.
This could have changed a lot of history. I believe he got hurt, and he struggled a little bit when he got called up. And he didn't last terribly long, but it's probably good for the sporting world that he didn't, because he got sent down, and then he, of course, is pretty much the founder of the National Football League.
A pioneer.
And it's
if he comes out and makes the Yankees, does the NFL exist today? Probably.
It could, but
totally different. It would have been delayed. But I didn't even know that Halas played baseball, but he was an important recruit, and he had a lot of potential. In fact, we've got here a New York Times review of him says it's unusual for a college player who's 19 to jump into the big leagues and become a regular the first season, but this is just the thing that Halas threatens to do. He is swift of foot and is a heady and proficient base runner. He covers a lot of ground in the outfield, and best of all, he has a world of enthusiasm for the game. How about that?
And who replaced him?
I don't know. Wally Pipp?
It was Babe Ruth.
Oh,
it was Ruth that replaced him. Yes. That was a trivia question from a long time ago, and a lot of people don't know that.
What a story. Yeah. And so you can see it's a little damaged, but it's survived a fire. So that's a true relic. It's still together. It still has all the text. It still has the signatures. So narrowly escaped right there, being totally destroyed, and one of one.
And I mean, right, for a baseball fan, it's neat. For a football fan, it's neat. You
it's the two worlds coming together.
Yeah. It's such a significant football figure. He's probably the biggest figure in football history.
Sure. And back to cards, Tony. We got the cards closing tonight. And one thing we do often at Heritage is we have set breaks. Sometimes they get their own auction. Sometimes they're part of our larger auction. And we have a set break of a 1971 Topps set, one of the finest out there. Tony, you know how hard these are to find in good condition?
I know they're almost impossible. And I know we had the Burke Blyleven that was bought and then resold for almost double, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, these are notorious. Of course, the edge chipping on these is, you pretty much got them out of a pack and you could ding a corner right away. It was hard to store them. They didn't have cases like they do now.
And there's the crown jewel of it, the Thurman Munson in a 9. Love that. That is a perfect image.
Great photo.
Munson
just
right
no mustache.
Cloud of dust.
Yeah,
on mine I drew the mustache in. So I'm not a great collector, obviously. But so this collection, which are all in the auction, all closing tonight, 549 cards. Nearly every single one is graded mint. And most of them, there's none higher. No surprise. Not a lot of 10s in the 71 Topps issue, but some incredible prices we've got for the 71 Topps already, with still time to go for bidding. We've got the bench in a 9. The estimate was $15K. Tony, it's at $35K right now. The Tony Perez in a 9, $1,500 estimate. It's at $13,000 right now. Dave May. What can you tell me about Dave May?
My dad had Oh, that was Lee May. I'm sorry.
So I can.
There was Carlos May, and then there's Dave. Oh, there's okay. Yeah, not
So
a
it's
lot.
Mayday over here.
Yes.
So that one's a 10, a pop one, $300 estimate. It's at $8,700 right now. Bob Tolan. What can you tell me about Bob Tolan?
Phillies.
There you go. $300 estimate, $5,700 right now. So people are going nuts for that 71 top set.
And the
it's
whole
beautiful.
thing is, you may go years before you find some of these again in that kind of grade. If you don't get it tonight,
Good luck.
You could be waiting so much time trying to get one. And you, of course, with the set registry, guys trying to fill their sets and upgrade, here's a wonderful opportunity for people to
and
build
that's
sets.
one of the toughest sets condition-wise, especially 70s. If you collect 70s, forget it. That's a tough one.
And it's not like there's going to be a whole bunch more coming out there. It's not like, there's going to be a find of unopened material. I don't think.
But we're looking for it. If you have it out there,
if you do have some at home, give us a call. We'd be more than happy to help you out.
So next, one of my favorite cards, the 52 Topps Willie Mays, and this is a beautiful example in a PSA 8. Just a stunner. I skipped ahead, Tommy. We moved past all those 71 tops.
Go back to Reggie. That's
unbelievable. Yeah, I love that Reggie in the A's uniform on a knee right there. But yeah, so if you collect 71 tops, the ones you want are out there right now, and you got to get them tonight. So 52 Topps Mays in an 8, iconic card, of course. Submissions for this card are at over 2,500 right now, and only 15 have graded higher than this one right there. And that is a beauty. So that puts it in the top 2% of all PSA submissions. And, this issue usually has print defects, gum and wax staining, but not on this one, of course. And very vibrant inks. You can see in our outstanding imaging there, it just jumps right off the page, but a beautiful example from one of the greatest players of all time.
You're really seeing the market for Mays go up.
Yes.
And not just in cards and memorabilia too. You're seeing, I think people are realizing how good he was. And out of any of the living Hall of Famers, he's, of course, the top one right now.
No question.
And we've seen such growth.
Just had his 91st birthday, I believe, a few weeks ago. Yeah.
Could still probably hit.
Yeah, better than me and you, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to take it a little further back here. We know a lot about T206 around here. We've been selling the David Hall T206 collection. In fact, Part 9, the final installment, will be launching soon. But this is one of my favorites from the T206 issue. One of the hardest to find. There's the 3 challenges in the T206. This is number 3 right here. The Eddie Plank. This one has a sweet Caporal back.
Is this because of the printing plate? Is this the one?
That's the rumor. That's the rumor, Tony.
Okay.
But his likeness is well placed on the 4 corners. It's an SGC authentic. You can see the folds and wrinkles in it right there. But one of the toughest to find. But nice deep colors on it, especially on the back. That red is still bold as the day it was printed. So only 33 Sweet Caporal back examples have been graded at SGC. So tough one to find, of course, and someone's going to go home with one tonight. Well, they're not going to take it home tonight, but if you win this and you come and pay, we'll give it to you tonight. We are here in the office in our beautiful, gigantic world headquarters in Dallas. In fact, it's so large. Rob Rosen, our VP, was going to join us on the show, but he didn't think his wheelchair would make it all the way to the other end. Marketing's on the other side. I tell him to get the motorized one, but he still likes the.
I could have pushed him.
Yeah, but you know how he is. He doesn't like help. So one more Burke Ross I want to talk about. This one's my favorite. This is the Jackie Robinson. Love this image of him in the field there, jumping to make a catch. Of course, fabulous fielder and super athletic football player too, as well. And track for the Bruins. That's right. So this is one of 3 graded mint by PSA with none higher. So top of the pop. Right here for
I like that top of the pop.
Yeah, I just made that up. Right now.
Oh my goodness, I've never heard that one. That is good.
But a beautiful card, Jackie Robinson, as it should. Material has been steadily creeping up for a long time, and this is a undervalued one, you'd say. The 52 tops Jackie Robinson prices have exploded of late, putting them out of the price range for a lot of people. So the Burke Ross is a good option, and not a lot of people have them. So it's definitely one that catches your eye when people see it in their collection. So bidding is still going on right now for session 1. You've got an hour and 40 minutes right there. Tony, on top of the time, we're going to take a very short break. But before we do, Tony, what do you got on the bid board right there?
I love this. 1948 to 52 Bowman Baseball Shoebox Collection, 3,800.
There we go. You love those shoebox collections.
I think that's such a cool term to use because we all had
Absolutely.
We all had the shoebox full of cards.
Oh, there it is. We got the picture. Tommy's on top of it tonight.
Wow. Yeah, he's got his A game. 1933 Jimmy Fox, 3,800. So a lot of things you are starting to see are starting to move.
The real action happens a little bit later. Some people being coy, a little gamesmanship.
They're just getting in now.
Right.
They're not. It's not down to the nitty gritty quite yet.
So if you're not sure, you've got to have a bid in before 10 p.m. Central Time when extended bidding starts in order to participate in extended bidding. So make sure you get those bids in. We're going to take a quick break and talk about or see a video about right over my shoulder right here. Tony, that football is the current NFL career touchdown pass record ball.
I just watched that video today, and it is amazing.
So a great story, a wonderful consigner, Janice Green, an incredible person, and a
personality.
Yes,
in a
definitely
very vibrant,
in a great
good
way.
Personality.
Very excited to get to meet her. That's one of the best things about the job is getting to meet these interesting consigners and collectors. So let's hear Janice's story.
Let's go, Mike!
It was our last regular season game. I was sporting my Mike Evans jersey that game because he has a history of giving the ball to people in the stands. Mike Evans was in the position I needed him to be in. Tom Brady threw a 20-yard pass to Mike Evans. Mike immediately got up, locked eyes with me, delivered me the ball, and then jumped into the stand to the people next to me. It was the most incredible, exciting. I was screaming. My name is Janice Green. I am a Buccaneers fan from Tampa, Florida. And here I am holding Tom Brady's final regular season touchdown ball.
So what did you do with it after you got it, when you got it home? Put it under your pillow?
I literally went to bed with it.
And then obviously you became a very significant ball.
Right, which I wasn't really thinking about at the time. I just thought I got a ball. And then time went on, and I think started hearing some things in the news about maybe the first ball sold, the first touchdown pass ball sold,
right,
and it went for a lot of money or something. And then I was like, I wonder if this ball's got some value. I did some homework, and when I heard some numbers thrown at me, I thought, wow, that could be really life-changing, honestly. You know, the excitement of thinking about paying off debts and, taking care of my family and doing those types of things, maybe getting a newer car. I was excited about the possibilities.
Tom Brady, unretired. He is back.
This just in, and I'm told in my ear that this is not a joke.
News on Tom Brady. This is what the GOAT, the greatest of all time, just tweeted.
Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr. is back.
How did you find out?
My daughter texted me. I was at home, and she sent me a text and said, Tom's coming back. And I immediately turned on the news and ESPN, and it was breaking news. And I thought, I can't believe this is happening. And then I just had to get in my car and go drive and watch the sunset. It was just something I had to process.
Really?
And when I got back to the house, I made some phone calls, talked to some people, and I was a little bit angry, I think.
I didn't want to call her.
Really?
I didn't think, I thought there was a chance that we'd never speak again, honestly, because I didn't want to reach out to her. I didn't want to be like rubbing salt in the wounds a little bit. I mean, we both know what happened.
Right.
There's no need for me to, what am I going to ask her? Sorry, my condolences. I mean, I felt sympathy.
Right.
The value is not going to be the same.
You're still here, though. You still decided to go ahead and sell it. Mm-hmm. And I assume and walk me through that process, because obviously that's not an easy decision. And 2 days ago, I didn't think you were going to come. 2 days ago, I figured you probably would want to hang on to it.
I'm an occupational therapist by trade. I work with special needs kids, and so I don't make a whole bunch of money.
Right.
I mean, I work in a school system, so the money that whatever this would have brought in or will bring in is obviously going to be helpful. I think whatever it brings in will definitely be helpful. I still think it's special.
Yeah.
I really think it's special. And I think somebody's going to really want this.
We often talk in auctions about how much a thing sells for. And we often talk about the fact that somebody could afford to buy a thing for a significant amount of money. What's very seldom discussed is the fact that there is a consigner on the other side of the equation for whom the money made will be a significant benefit.
I feel excited about the potential where this ball may land someday. And I'm very grateful to Tom for passing to Mike Evans and then the play route coming to me. It went Tom, Mike Evans, Janice.
Yeah, it's still an unbelievable piece, and the provenance is 100% impeccable. It doesn't get any better than video provenance at the game of the receiver handing it to the consigner.
The good thing about the moment is that I will always have it in my head and in my mind and in my photos, so that nobody could ever take from me.
Love that story, Tony. What a great person. And I just love the conflict of, she's a huge Brady fan. He's her favorite player. She's a big Bucs fan. He's giving them a little bit better chance to win the Super Bowl by coming back. But with him coming back, it turns this windfall into still a large windfall. It's still a Brady touchdown ball. But of course, it might not be that. But who knows? Recently announced, as soon as Brady retires, he's going to make over $37 million a year to commentate. So maybe he gets in training camp and he's like, I don't want to run any more sprints. Forget this. I'm going to the booth. Then this will be the record. It's the current record right now.
Yeah, it is. It is. I mean, Chris Nair's smile there. He
I
looked
know.
almost as happy as the consigner.
I haven't seen him that happy since the Bucs won the title. So great work there by our production crew. Shout out to you in there, Tommy. So tomorrow we'll find out what the current record is. And hey, even if he does play, no guarantee that Tom Brady's going to throw another touchdown pass. Maybe they got a great running game. Maybe they just hit that running game.
They're really going to run the rock this year, aren't they?
You never know. You never know. So speaking of game items, Tony, let's get to some gamers. What do you want to talk about?
1998 Michael Jordan game-worn Bulls jersey, photo matched with a team letter.
Right there behind you, Tony.
If you want to talk about grail pieces, Jordan, as we all know, in the last 3 years, the prices have just exploded.
Nobody knew who he was until The Last Dance. And then bam, people are like, who was this guy?
You have another generation now that has, I don't want to say is introduced to Jordan, but that now they got to look into him that we had no idea about.
Yeah, if you hadn't lived through it and seen him play, that really gave you insight at the pinnacle of his game in 98. So this jersey is from The Last Dance, his last year.
And nobody knew that whole documentary, nobody knew of that. Nobody knew that it existed.
Great timing.
It was absolutely perfect. And it happened during the pandemic where we all needed something. There were no sports to really watch. And this kind of helped us get through it a little bit at least. But right now it's at 300,000. I remember when these were, $100,000.
Yeah.
150 grand, they've doubled, and this thing isn't done yet. I mean, it could go for $500,000.
Closes tomorrow night. Mm-hmm. Photo match to February 23rd, victory over the Cavs, one of their rivals. So a great piece. And, recently in the hobby, items that are tied to a GOAT, Brady, Gretzky, and of course Jordan have really seen a premium.
And especially with the photo matching now, that's taken it to just levels that we could never have guessed.
Oh yeah.
On that.
And another gamer, this is one of my favorite gamers in the
Yeah,
auction.
this one here, you and I were talking, and we're like, that's the 4-point play.
Yes.
And I mean, of course, this is what I remember when he did that. Don't worry, I'll
so Larry Johnson, 1999 playoff gamer. So we got it in. It had the NBA Finals patch on it, so we knew he had it wore it in the finals. And then we looked to photo match it, and they photo matched it to Game 3 of the Eastern Conference Finals when LJ hit the 4-point play at the buzzer to beat the Pacers. I'm a Knicks fan, Tony. I remember exactly where I was when I was watching that game. Couldn't believe it. That never happened. 4-point plays never happen. And to win the game, they're down 3. Dale Davis fouls him on Larry Johnson on a long three-pointer.
You don't think of him, and then he busted out the
course,
LJ, which was.
And you got that
Heisman?
great reaction shot, the faraway shot in the Garden of everyone on the edge of their seat and then exploding out of their seats. Larry Johnson, of course, the #1 pick from the Running Rebels. And he had a great career, but this is the best moment of his career, the 4-point play. If you ask any Knicks fan, that's what they remember him for. He was the high scorer in the game as well. And it also has NBA Finals wear. He wore it during the finals against the Spurs, but incredible. I had someone reach out to us on Twitter that was a ball boy for the Knicks at that game back then, and he was right by the bench when it happened. So a momentous moment in NBA history, Knicks history, and Madison Square Garden history. And like you said, the photo matching ties it right to it. That's a great piece. What's it at right now?
It's at $13,500. That could go for 20 grand. It could go for 30. Who knows?
I mean, that's a record for a Larry Johnson jersey. But a huge piece. Love to see that come in, and great research by the research team there, not just saying, great, a finals jersey. Let's move on.
Exactly.
Let's see what else it has.
And that's where photo matching is. It's taken our hobby and driven it to an entirely different level now.
Yes.
Because nobody, you look at, it's a finals jersey. But back then, they didn't wear a jersey a game like they do now. They wear so many more jerseys. They would wear them and wear them and wear them. So great wear.
And why not? If you had that kind of success in it.
Yes, that's true.
All right. So you mentioned Jordan. Another thing that has really leapt in value over the past couple years is not just wax, but any cards tied to Jordan. And this one is pristine and untouched. Also right there behind us, Tony. We got all the highlights out here tonight. 1986 Fleer box. Tony, you just want to crack it open right now?
No. I remember when these were $60,000 to $80,000. Now they're double that.
Yes.
And it's it's only been a year or two since.
So this is going to go over 200 grand, I'm sure. And people are opening these, if you can believe that. So, and they're not making any more, of course. So if you've got one, you get this one tonight. They're just getting rarer, and a great historic piece. It would be awesome to open one of those up. How about opening?
I wish and I know I've talked about this before, but I wondered, like I said, how many times you're at a card show and you walk by those.
Yes.
Because I didn't. A lot of people didn't collect basketball cards. It was baseball and football. Basketball was such an afterthought. They didn't even make them in the 80s.
Talked to so many people that worked in shops or owned shops back then. They said they couldn't give them away back then.
And now it just flips totally. Because, and we have a lot of calls where I've got 80s and 90s. You do always ask them, any chance you have the 86 Fleer basketball?
Yes.
And once in a while, somebody they'll have one. But it's, they're becoming rarer and rarer.
Few and far between.
Exactly.
For sure. So somebody's going to get one tonight. And speaking of Jordan, had to mention this one here. This is the 1996 Upper Deck UD3 Court Commemorative autograph. It's a PSA 10 with a 10 autograph from his airness right there. At this time, 96 autograph inserts were fairly new, and someone got lucky here. As Jordan was one of only 4 subjects in the UD3 issue, along with Damon Stoudemire, Penny Hardaway, and Sean Kemp. So Obviously the one to get right there. And so these were for milestones, and this one was to commemorate his milestone of getting to 25,000 points, which he did on December 1st, 1996 versus the Spurs. And he hit it right on the nose on the game, 25,000. He ended right at 25,000.
Of course he did. It's Michael Jordan.
Yeah, so if you check the pop report, there's only 3 of these cards graded Gem Mint 10, but you can't see if they also have the 10 autograph. So very likely this is the finest one in existence here. And very unique Jordan. You know, you see all kinds of Jordan cards going up in value, and this one is a
and that
beautiful
dual grade
example.
too.
Yeah, 10-10s.
10-10. I mean, you can't get any better, of course. And it's Jordan, and it's a beautiful card too. I love that. I love that background, the hardwood background to it. It's a really cool card.
And a great card from the modern game here. This is the 2007 Upper Deck Exquisite Collection, Kevin Durant. And this one is
he's wearing a Sonics jersey though.
Yeah, I know. Remember that team? It's a great look, I gotta say.
I do like that. Yeah, I do like
that team. Maybe they'll bring it back as an expansion.
They'll get a team. They will get a team.
They should. They deserve it. Great fans.
They lost the Sonics.
And they had Durant. How about that? They go to Oklahoma City and they got 3 MVPs on the team, 3 future MVPs. Yeah. But a beautiful card here. Love that image of Durant there in the Sonics jersey. Got the 3-color patch with the Sonics jersey there and the blue on-card autograph. So a huge card from one of the greatest players of all time that's going to join a new collection tonight. And speaking of greatest players of all time, who you got there, Tony?
Okay, this was one of my favorite players of all time. I'm not going to lie. And this was the card everybody wanted because I collected cards as a kid, but then I got back into it when I got to college. I got back into collecting cards again. Tim Duncan, 1997 Topps Chrome Refractor. Of course, the Topps Chrome was the big issue. Everybody waited for that to come out, and the refractors have always been hot. They've always sold well. Here's the Tim Duncan Gem Mint 10. I never got the refractor. Of course, I have the regular version, but
we get to see him. We get to see him.
We get to see him. We get to feel like we own him. But right now, it's at 4,700, and it's the old Alamo Dome. So
yes,
it was.
That place was crazy. Did you ever see a game there, Tony?
I never did, but I know they used to block off like half of the upper deck.
The giant curtain, a curtain that went from the top of the arena all the way to the bottom. I've seen basketball games there, and I saw football games there.
Football?
Also. That's right.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Indoor. But yeah, one thing about Duncan, you know, you could say he's the greatest power forward of all time, and there's hard to argue that. But you're not seeing the astronomical prices for his cards.
No.
But this is one that should get a great number. Fantastic card.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. No, I mean, he has 5 titles, and he just, he was a quieter player. He didn't really, he was
mostly local endorsements only.
Yeah,
he didn't have a lot of national endorsement deals. Also a great swimmer. Do you know that?
Yes.
Yeah.
He grew up where in
Virgin Islands.
Virgin Islands, yes.
All right, Tony, did you watch Winning Time?
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, great.
I
will admit,
love it.
Not entirely accurate in all its depiction, but entertainment value was amazing. Great era in the NBA, the turnaround of it. So I noticed several cards, the great Winning Time tie-in. Let's start with this one here, the 2005 Upper Deck Ultimate Collection with Magic and Kareem. Both of the actors looked great, did great.
Oh my God, it is just so well done. And I mean, here you got two of the best of all time that took the Lakers.
Two of the best at their position of all time, 2 of the greatest Lakers of all time. I loved watching, whether it's true or not, great job showing their relationship together. They were completely different people. That is accurate.
Yeah.
But beautiful card here. Limited edition. This is number 23 of 25 and 10 autos from both of them. And then we're not stopping there with the Winning Time tie-ins. This is the 2007 Upper Deck Exquisite Collection, Jerry West and Elgin Baylor. So this was the guard and forward from the era before. Both of them appeared in the series. Orlando Jones playing Elgin Baylor in one scene when they were thinking about bringing him in to coach. And then a lot of talk about that Jerry West depiction.
I am very shocked at how they depict him, and I think a lot of people are actually.
I don't think it was accurate, but it was funny. I mean, it made me laugh every time he came on screen.
I can understand why he's not happy.
Yeah, of course, of course. But anyone would be happy with this card right here. This is number 1 of just 10, and 10 autos from those two legends. And it doesn't stop there, Tony. Of course, if we're going to talk Jerry West, we got to talk the 61 Fleer Jerry West. And nobody could be angry about this representation of Jerry West in a PSA 9, the legendary 61 Fleer issue, one of the most important
That is
issues
such a
ever.
tough set because of the centering.
Yes.
I just took in one, and they literally look packed fresh, but the centering is so difficult on these cards.
But when you get a nice high grade one like that, and the
just
colors
jumps
just
out.
pop, beautiful example. That young Jerry West, of course, he became a battle-tested, grizzled veteran. That is accurate. But here, just a fresh-faced kid from Virginia, ready to take on the world. Beautiful example there. And, talking about Tim Duncan, you got some Spurs hardware you want to talk about?
We do. You want to talk about probably one of the best rings to own. This is 2007 Robert Horry.
Robert Horry, the champion of champions?
The champion of champions, and Big Shot Bob. The guy is a borderline Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
And there are people who say he should be in because he's one of the best winners. And of course, with the nickname, hitting big shot after big shot after big shot. I mean, he won 2 titles with the Rockets, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
And then he went on to the Lakers and the Spurs. I mean, this guy had such a career. And it's a beautiful design ring, too. I love the way the Spurs logo jumps out. And just a beautiful, beautiful ring. And I think of the model franchise in the NBA. Yeah, they don't get a lot of credit, like the Lakers and Celtics do. But just such a model organization.
So the Spurs have, what was the record? I can't remember. I'll look it up and we'll bring it back. But it has their slogan from the season, "Pounding the Rock" on the one shank.
Oh, does it?
The hammer hitting the rock over there. I have a friend that's a big Spurs fan that, there it is. That I heard that many times. I was living with them at the time in 2007 and heard that statement many times throughout the playoffs. But we have some incredible championship hardware in this auction that's going to be closing tomorrow night. We'll get to that in just a little bit, but we're going to take a quick break. What's the time check, Tony?
We have an hour and 18 minutes.
So we got session 1 closing tonight, which is the card session. So you have to have your bids in before 10 p.m. Central Time to participate in extended bidding. And what bids we got coming in right now, Tony?
Right now, we have 1955 All-American Sports Club, Bill Russell, hand cut, PSA 5, 4,800. Walter Johnson, hands at chest, T206, 7,500.
Those T206 are doing very well of late.
Some great ones we have there. Let's see. 1960 Topps Willie Mays, PSA 8, 2,600. So
there we go. Bids are slowly starting to creep up. We're going to see a lot of great action coming up. But first, Tony, did you know we have a space department here at Heritage?
Tell me more.
We have the best space department in the industry. They have recently sold the Neil Armstrong collection, the first man to walk on the moon. And right now we have his Apollo 11 teammate, Michael Collins collection. That auction is coming up. So take a look at what that's going to have to offer.
Hello, I'm Brad Palmer, Consignment Director for Space Exploration at Heritage Auctions. I want to show 3 things we have upcoming in our June 2nd and 3rd sale. We were privileged enough to be offered to handle the collection of Michael Collins, Apollo 11 command module pilot, as well as Gemini 10. We've got 3 items here that I wanted to show you. The first will be his Gemini personal preference kit. These are some of the most sought after space relics there are out there. They're all flown. This is where they were able to keep all their personal items that whenever they returned, anything they could fit in that, they were allowed to keep. And having one from Michael Collins signed and certified on the item, that's just an outstanding item. We're really happy to have that in the sale. We also have here an Apollo 11 flown and annotated star chart. This was actually used during the Apollo 11 mission as Michael Collins was navigating his way to the moon. On here, he has made a lot of annotations, as well as stating on here, this chart helped him locate the stars to navigate. That's one of the most outstanding relics from the most popular mission of all time. So that's another outstanding item. Our final item here is the largest sized American flag flown on an Apollo mission. This one is signed and annotated by Michael Collins. It says here, carried to the moon on Apollo 11, July 1969, Michael Collins, CMP. These are incredibly desirable, especially in this size. You know, the 6x4 is very, very desirable as well, but to get a large size directly from the personal collection of one of the crew members is an outstanding opportunity that should not be passed up. All of these items are going to be available on our June 2nd and 3rd space exploration sale. These will actually all be on the June 2nd live auction, and we look forward to 2 days of great bidding with space items.
And I love that guy.
All right, amazing items in there. I got to call some of that Neil Armstrong. I'm also an auctioneer. If you're in need of one. And
he does it all here. He does everything.
That genre is incredible and amazing. Some of the items that went to space. And of course, that Michael Collins collection is going to have a lot of that too. So looking forward to see what that all does. And talking about astronomical, Tony, we have the finest collection of Super Bowl rings I've ever seen. Have you ever seen a finer collection?
I'll tell you right now, when that collection came in, I met the guy. He was in the parking lot, and he had a box that big, and my eyes almost popped out of my head when he opened up that box. And and I remember him saying, "Wow, I didn't know you'd be that excited about it." I said, "Sir, I'll never see this many Super Bowl rings ever again in my life, all in one spot like that."
42 player Super Bowl rings representing 40 different Super Bowls all together. Unreal.
I was shocked, and they're all player rings. I don't think there was one coach ring at all, or a staff ring.
None of that. All player rings. So we've split up the collection. Half are in this, half are going to be in our August Platinum auction, which is coming up. So just amazing. He was ready to let it go, and now the hobby is going to get some. You can pick out your team, your favorite Super Bowl. So let's talk about some of the highlights from that collection.
You know, I asked him, I said, what prompted you? I said, you know, the market's strong right now, but what prompted you? He said, I could not complete it.
Yeah.
You know, some of them haven't been, some of them you just never see. And, the guy wanted player rings. So they rarely come out for sale. He knew he wasn't going to complete it. And he said, it's time.
Yeah. And some of those modern ones have gotten so huge and so expensive just on the intrinsic value of the diamonds and the gold. So then you add on top the value that it's going to be a player ring. They're
never going to get
prices.
Smaller, I don't think. Of course, they're going to get more and more gaudy. And
in fact,
thanks,
we got
Robert
one of the
Kraft,
giant one right there behind us. We'll talk about that in a moment. But which ones do you like, Tony?
It's too hard to. Those Packer ones look a little nicer than the rest, but
you're biased.
I am. So the first off, the 1983 Oakland Raiders. I'm sorry, Las Vegas Raiders now. But back then they were the Los Angeles Raiders. This is from Irvin Phillips. Really classic design with the 3 diamonds representing their 3 Super Bowls at the time. I think that was the first year that a wild card team won the Super Bowl, if I'm not mistaken. I'd have to look that up, but I think that is the case. Right now it's at 9,000, but there's a lot of Raider collectors out there. They're an organization that they're so unique and so much different than everybody else that there's a lot of big Raider collectors who will spend money. And I think this one is going to go up considerably from where it's at right now. And, unique organization.
A lot of Raider love out there right now. The move to Las Vegas has been a big success. They had a great season. Madden's passing has brought a lot of nostalgia for those Raiders teams of that era. So, yeah, I think we're going to see a nice...
If there's any team that belongs in Vegas, it would be the Raiders.
Oh, totally. There's no question about that. Mm-hmm. And next, my favorite, totally unbiased opinion out of these, but the Dallas Cowboys Super Bowl VI championship ring, Super Bowl ring. Just a beautiful one here. And so much history. The Cowboys' first Super Bowl title. They had a really tough loss to the Colts in Super Bowl V. So this was a huge accomplishment to make it back to the Super Bowl the next year and pretty much dominated the Dolphins. And then that was the Dolphins' last loss before their undefeated season.
Sure.
So it really really a lot turned in the NFL on this season here. Incredible ring, first of 5 Super Bowl titles, 6 coming up this year, Tony.
From a great player, by the way. Ralph Neely was a really good player.
The left tackle, stayed in Dallas resident. So
he's a fun guy. I met him, and he is a very, very full of life. Just very full of life.
Living to the fullest. So yeah, love the Cowboy rings. Of course, there's several Cowboy rings in this collection, but how can you argue with the first one right there?
Well, this one here is, you talk about first, the Baltimore Ravens, their first Super Bowl championship ring. But who it belonged to? Jamal Lewis.
Wow.
You know, I mean, this is one of the top players on that team, and also a 2,000-yard rusher during his career. So you're not just getting just any player; you're getting one of the top players' rings. Right now, 39,000. Jamal Lewis, it was an unbelievable running back, and this is a pretty good opportunity to get a major stars Super Bowl ring, and the first one too.
Yeah, very cool ring. Love the there's a few. The bird teams always put the bird on there.
Mm-hmm.
The Seahawks one that is in this collection also has that similar design.
The one that I liked, and the Super Bowl 51, I think it was the Broncos.
Yes.
And it just, the design, that logo on there is so neat and so much different than all the other ones.
The Broncos did very good job with their designs, for sure. And speaking of designs, this is one of the most ostentatious ones you'll see. In fact, it's right there behind us. Usually if we had a ring that far away from the camera, you would not be able to see it. But this one, you can, right there. I don't want to look at it. It's going to blind me. This is the 2016 New England Super Bowl Patriots ring from when they beat the Falcons. The huge comeback from Michael Williams, the tight end. And the interesting thing about this one is, of course, everyone remembers the Patriots were down 28-3 at halftime, came back to win. So this ring has 283 diamonds to commemorate that 28-3. Yeah, see, Robert Kraft had a lot of experience in designing these. So he came up with that. And it's got the 17-2 playoff inclusive record on the side. The We Are All Patriots. So it's size 13.5, Tony, if you're thinking about buying it. 105 grams. That is huge. Just an amazing ring. It is really incredible to see it. We've seen one other, I think, maybe 2 of these. But every time it comes in, it's got the box that when you open it up, it has the blue light focused in on the ring. So very well done.
Robert Kraft and the Patriots have taken Super Bowl rings and just changed the whole scene. I mean, when they won their first, I mean, we thought that was over the top.
Yes.
Now you see the 6th. It's really over the top.
Yes. And, that led to, we sold the Tampa Bay 2020 Super Bowl ring, and that one was bigger than this one. And you took the top off, and inside was a replica of Raymond James Stadium there. Mm-hmm. So now it's just getting incredible what they can do with those
and
rings.
Everyone's trying to top everybody else. You want to have the best one, then the next year. And for some of these franchises, it's their first ring.
Right.
And they really want to do the next, now there's, I think, videos or something. You can scan something to watch a team highlight video.
Mm-hmm.
And even the boxes you mentioned, some of the ones they light up,
they spin.
Yeah, there's all kinds. Everyone's trying to top the next one. And
can't wait to see what Jerry's going to do with the one this year. They win. By the way, Tony, I'm going to be coming out to Green Bay. It leaked out 11/13, November 13.
Mike McCarthy will be coming back for the
Cowboys
first time.
At Green Bay. I'm going to the game.
You are?
I am.
Wow.
Yeah, so that'll be fun. You'll have to come out. Show me around
We'll
town.
show you. We'll give you the big tour of the city.
How long will that take?
Don't worry. All weekend.
So let's get back to cards. We've got the cards closing tonight. And if you're going to talk football cards, this is a great one right here. 1935 National Chickel Bronco Nagurski rookie card in a PSA 7. Look at that. Pow. One of the most important football cards in the hobby. Only 8 graded higher than this one. And the surfaces are so clean and bright. Not a hint of ghosting anywhere on here. Colors are supple and rich. This is a beautiful example of a very important card.
And he was a wrestler too.
Oh, yeah?
Yes, he was. Yeah. When
you always know the wrestling notes.
Yeah. No, I've seen some photos, and he was a beast of a guy. The biggest neck.
That's true.
One of the biggest necks, I think, of anybody in this world.
So speaking of Patriots, of course, there's a ton of Tom Brady cards in the auction. Whatever Tom Brady card you're looking for, we've got it. This is the 2000 SB Authentic Brady rookie in a BGS 9.5. This is number 50 of 1250. So one of his most coveted rookie cards, of course, like we talked about with Jordan, everything Brady is going through the roof, including the price to have him commentate. Even though he's never done it before, I'm sure he'll be great.
I'm sure he'll be, really, really good.
So Aikman signs for just over 18 to top Romo's record. And then Brady comes around and he doubled it.
I cannot believe what they're paying these guys. But that being said, I mean, the media coverage, it runs sports.
He was great on the Manning cast last year. That's for sure. I really enjoyed that. I'd never seen him do, the analyst, and it was just kind of him being himself. So it worked. I guess they'll probably get their money worth out of it. And what is it, 10-year contract?
It's a 10-year contract.
So in 10 years,
personal services too or something. There's more than just the announcing. It'll be interesting to see how
he's playing golf with important clients and stuff. Yeah. But yeah, maybe in 10 years that's going to look like a bargain at $37 million, the way things are going. But yeah, he's taking a massive pay cut. You know what he's getting paid for the Bucks this year? $15 million. So massive pay cut to play the most important position at the most profitable sport at the highest level. It's a crazy situation.
Yeah.
But yeah, very interested to see how that turns out. And plenty of Brady cards. I mean, every variety, high grade tonight. So if you're looking to upgrade your Brady collection, tonight's the night for you. And speaking of upgrading your collection and championship rings, here's a guy that just acquired his first Super Bowl ring. This is the 2009 National Treasures Matthew Stafford.
Was it with the Lions, though?
This was, no.
Making sure.
In fact, he has the phone commercial out right now talking about the trade. But this is a PSA 10 and beautiful autograph from Dallas native right here in our backyard in Highland Park. Matthew Stafford, and a great 3-color patch there as well.
And a nice autograph.
Yeah, he's got
that's a nice full name.
He's got one of the nicer autographs on the modern side for sure. You can read all the letters.
Yeah, that's so rare.
It's one when you get a team signed ball, you go, oh, Lions, this is Stafford, because you can pick him out immediately. But he had a fantastic season, of course, won the Super Bowl, did it. Dallas was our headquarters here in Dallas. Dallas was very happy for him. He had some tough times in Detroit, of course, but this is a great card. And, Stafford, who knows? They could do it again. They've got another great team.
Great team, great defense.
He got that monkey off his back. And a lot of times when that happens to guys, they can just turn it on, take it to another level. So interested to see what he does this year. And that's a great card that you can own tonight. Tony, what do we got up next?
Well, we've got some select items from the Ronnie Lott collection, which came in. And when this jersey came in, I have a photo of Derek Grady just holding it up. I just sent it to everybody. And, when we took it in, it didn't show a lot.
So just back up. Tony and our executive VP, Derek Grady, went to Ronnie Lott's house to pick up the collection. So very cool part of the job, getting to meet these legends. We've sold a lot of player collections, Stan Musial, Brooks Robinson, Micah Ruzioni, Willie McCovey, Al Kaline. So getting to meet the player and the family is fabulous, and especially a luminary like Ronnie Lott.
And he was one of the nicest athletes I've ever met.
Looks like he could still play.
Yeah, he does. And he had that that look where he kind of scrunches his nose.
Yes.
He gave that look to Derek Grady once, and we both kind of were
just
nervous.
Once,
maybe twice. But this one here, when we took it in, it didn't have like repairs on it or like a ton of use, but it photo matched to the Super Bowl, which shocked everybody, and that was the blowout against the Broncos, I believe. And
so not a lot of wear on there.
Yeah, exactly. Because the second half, a lot of those guys, sat. But this has to be the most significant Ronnie Lott jersey in the industry. And you don't see a lot of his material come out there. Because back then, those, they wore those jerseys. They might wear 2 home, 2 road during the season. And this one here from a Super Bowl, I mean, this thing, it's at like 29,000. Could be 50, could be 60,000. I mean, especially coming from him as well. And the nice thing about Ronnie Lott, he's such a charitable guy. He's donating a lot of his proceeds to charity. And
All Stars Helping Kids is the charity. If you want to buy an item, you're going to be helping that great charity where athletes are trying to help underprivileged kids. And of course, you can make a donation if you can't buy something. That's a great charity to support. But you can support it by buying an item directly out of Ronnie Lott's collection tomorrow night.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So the one I picked was the Pro Bowl ensemble, just because I remembered as a kid, I would always watch the Pro Bowl. I got so excited about it. And, now I think back and I was like, those were not great games. Just for football, it doesn't translate. They don't want to hurt each other at the end of the season. But I love those looks. This is the era when I was really into it, and I'd be an hour before watching the pregame for the Pro Bowl. Can you believe I did that, Tony?
Well, I remember watching like the 87 or 88 Pro Bowl, and I mean, they are hitting. Like now it's like a circus kind of. Then now they don't touch each other, or, to make sure they don't, hurt anybody.
Can't touch the quarterback.
No, but back then they used to play, and you're right. It wasn't always the best game, but all these superstars, and I always love that they have the Pro Bowl jersey and they have their team helmet.
Yes,
and I always love that so much.
And that red, white, and blue look. So when we were going through it, I saw that, and I love that Pro Bowl look.
Yeah.
What do you like there, Tony?
We've got one of the captains, oversized captain photos from Super Bowl 23 with Ronnie Lott, Joe Montana, and Harry Sidney, who was a fullback.
A lot of great photos in that collection.
Yeah, some really cool ones. And, these were only given to the captains. They weren't made, but they were never made for sale. And so they're very limited and just kind of a cool personal item from Ronnie Lott's collection. And a Super Bowl, no less, too.
And speaking of personal items, this is one I really like. This is Ronnie Lott's 1987 playbook. Tony and I were always worried to hear the coach say, "Bring us your playbook."
I'm still worried that
Chris Ivy's going to say,
"Tony, bring us your badge."
But this is a great look inside what it's like to be a professional player. These were closely guarded. You could be fined for losing them back in the day. They didn't want the secrets to get out. There was no internet, so everything they had
right there
was in here. And it covers, of course, formations, plays, technique, but also conduct. There's a page in there about not gambling and not using performance-enhancing drugs. You couldn't, now they probably get a thumb drive or an email with all this information, but here they had to give them everything they needed. It's signed on the front by Ronnie Lott, and he had a great season in 87.
So meticulous, and it's a Bill Walsh team, and he had such attention to detail. Just how everything is laid out.
There's some really great pages. I looked through the whole thing. Where you can tell Bill Walsh's influence in some of the stuff when he's talking about how to conduct themselves, their technique. There's pages about how to motivate yourself and how to overcome mental obstacles. Walsh, he covered it from A to Z in there, soup to nuts, everything a player needed for the whole season right in there. And Ronnie Lott's playbook, very cool.
Probably the greatest safety of all time.
I mean, Darren Woodson has something to say about that. But,
okay, he's the second greatest of all time. I'm sorry.
No, I'll give it to Ronnie Lott there.
He's going to give you that look that he gave Derek Grady, I think.
What else you got, Tony?
So we've got, I know he was known for the 49ers, but when he left San Francisco, he went to the Jets. And, when we were going through the collection, this was one that really stood out to me. 1993 Ronnie Lott game used Jets jersey, has good wear, photo matched to November 21st against the Bengals. Good wear, but I love that patch on there. And, it's got hit marks. It's got good use to it. And when you think of Ronnie Lott, you think of him just absolutely destroying people.
Dishing out punishment.
And this one, I think out of the collection, probably had the nicest wear of anyone right now. I mean, 3,600 right now. And this thing, again, is going to really perform well because it comes directly from him.
Right.
And it's never been offered before. So I think this one will do extremely well.
And a big part of the Ronnie Lott collection is items he was gifted from other luminaries, other athletes, especially a lot of California and Bay Area guys. So I saw this in there. These are Magic Johnson sneakers that he gave to Ronnie Lott. Look at that classic look there.
Converse.
The Converse weapons with Magic on the back. And I just love thinking about this interaction of Magic and Ronnie Lott, and I'll take my shoes here, I'll sign them for you. These two legends of the 80s in California, and them gifting each other things. But there are some great items. There's a Kareem jersey, a lot of San Francisco Giants signed items and jerseys and things like that.
There was a cool one. There's a Golden State Warriors jersey, and it's literally one that that they made for him with Lott number 42 on it. But it's the same one that the players wore because there's like a year tag on it. And I'm like, man, that is so cool. It's just a neat, I think it's 87 or 88 is the year of issue. But, it's like a team issued Ronnie Lott that was presented to him.
Yes. And so what's cool about the Ronnie Lott collection?
Oh, there it is. How did they find it that quick? Did we pull that one out?
So there's a lot of great 5-figure items in the Ronnie Lott collection, of course, but it's a really extensive collection. So there's a lot of stuff. If you are a Ronnie Lott fan, no matter what your budget is, there's an item in there for you. So be sure to pick one up tomorrow night. And we're going to take a little break. We got more cards to talk about coming up, more collections to talk about, more memorabilia. Oh, we've got the score update from Tommy. Thank you, Tommy. Mavericks up 1, do or die tonight, game 6. Just down the street from our old offices.
I can hear the crowd.
But we're going to take a break. We've got just under an hour left before extended bidding begins. So get your bids in. And, let's see. What are we going to look at now? Oh, yes. Tony, I got to meet Scott Rummel the other day, who has the world's greatest Disney collection and the world's largest Disney collection, which we are going to be offering coming up very soon. So take a look at the Disney collection that will be open for bidding soon.
I was sitting there the other night watching several tours on YouTube of your home, and I got to be kind of obsessed, not with the collection, but with living with the collection and having that, to see this in your front room and to see the Club 33 in your kitchen and to see how these pieces sort of became a significant part of your family's lives. What was that like?
Always loved it. Always just had a happy feeling. I never got old. I know it seems weird, but there, if I was coming home from a day at work and know I was going to walk through that front door, and that may seem materialistic in some ways, but it wasn't. It was the second happiest place on earth, and it was fun. I always loved when people came to the house and would enjoy it, and really we opened our home to pretty much anybody that asked.
Yeah.
Whether it was Children's Hospital or a church or a charity, we would love to do that and share that because we knew it would bring happiness.
All I thought was at some point maybe you take it for granted. At some point maybe you go, all right,
Well, maybe I'm speaking to some of the people on the Zillow Gone Wild that our house, when it went for sale, it was trending on Twitter within an hour, right?
I did see that.
So it was on Zillow Gone Wild, and I was reading some of the comments, and my kids were trying to protect me from the comments, and I just thought they were hilarious. I don't expect that everybody could live this way, but it worked for our family. It made us happy. And, there was I could never live in that chaos or whatever. And it's like, well, okay. So for me, I was always happy in that house. And I know my kids were. I know my kids loved living at that house. They loved they were so proud that they could bring their friends over and show them the fun stuff, or if dad just got a new, ride vehicle, and so it was fun. It was fascinating. It's such an interesting, different kind of hobby from most people. And everybody loves Disney, so they were always fascinated by it.
Everybody who works here is a collector. There's a gene, right? You work here because you're a collector and because you collect, whether it's like my father collected baseball cards, I collect comic books. There's a certain part of me that is also aware of the baggage and sort of the weight that comes with being a collector. Is it a relief in some ways to begin shedding part of that and sharing part of that?
That is a really good question that nobody has ever asked. The weight that would have been on my shoulders about this collection is leaving it to my kids to deal with.
Right.
When you have 45,000 items, that is a huge job that I would never want to just leave if Terry and I were no longer there. Just like, what do we do? How do we do this and all of that? So that weight is gone. We've kept a manageable amount for them to deal with.
But is it about, I've lived with these things for so long, to know that it goes to somebody else who's going to love it as much as you did?
Yeah, there's a piece about it.
That's what I mean. Yeah,
there's a total piece.
A piece is a great word for it.
Yeah. So I have peace about that for sure. Also, people have said, well, what will you do with the money that you make from this auction? And a portion of this money is definitely going to charities that we love. And but I also will tell you that I am looking forward to being able to take my grandkids to Walt Disney World and even to Disneyland Paris and Tokyo Disney Sea, and to trade some of the physical items for memories and experiences.
I can't thank you enough for doing this. I hope you've had a good day here today.
It's been a wonderful day. I am so happy to be with Heritage, and it's to come here and see this facility and see that there's 700 people that care deeply about all these items. I just, my picture of Heritage for just a little bit of time in the beginning was Jim Lentz being very excited and at my house.
And of course, Mr. Toad's car is next to Mr. Toad.
When I first started seeing pictures of your facility, I was like, wow, this is really something. I mean, that when you put your stuff here at Heritage, it's going to be cared for, and it's going to be treated and handled properly. And so, today's been a really wonderful day for us too, to meet everybody that's been working on our auction. And we're just thrilled.
We've all been very delighted to get a chance to meet you and to work with you and to have you a part of our lives for however long that is. So thank you. Really been a thrill for me.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
Tony, I think that puts your Disney collection to shame.
Yeah, it does. I'm sorry. I don't even have the Mickey Mouse ears or anything. I've never been to Disneyland.
So they had that all set up in the gallery, and I got to see it the other day. It's crazy.
It's incredible. Just, the whole way through the history of the park. It's amazing.
4,500 items. So it's going to be several auctions. But if you're into Disney or Disneyland or Disney World, there's something in there for you, obviously. Your ticket to it. Speaking of tickets,
look at this guy.
That's been one of the big demographics that's been surging in the industry. So let's talk about some tickets.
Yeah, over the last year, the ticket market has really gone up quite a bit. And of course, everybody wants debut tickets. That's kind of the thing that people in the hobby have really gravitated towards. And here's one that's kind of a cool, unique one. 1996 Kobe Bryant debut ticket. Usually the debut tickets are opening night.
Right.
But Kobe was hurt, and he didn't make his debut until November of that year. So it makes it a little more. Well, it's the only known full ticket,
right?
And which tells you, I mean, it's LA, so
one of one.
It's one of one, and anytime you can put highest graded, only known, it's hard to put a price on. Right now, it is at $40,000 with one full day left to go.
And we've got the record for a basketball ticket. In February, we sold the only known full Jordan debut ticket for $468,000. So Jordan's Jordan, but Kobe's in that upper stratosphere too. And of course, since his tragic passing, a lot of people trying to get their hands on Kobe material, and this is a one of one right here.
It is. And up next, we've got Tiger Woods debut ticket, professional debut ticket. But the cool thing is, it's autographed by Tiger. So these kids went to the event and they got him. They got his autograph, but they have photos of them each holding up a signed ticket. It just such a cool experience. It had to be young guys with their signed Tiger Woods tickets, and then there's photos showing Tiger signing for the group of fans. So.
And that's the only signed ticket in the PSA population.
It is, yes.
So we've seen some crazy prices over the last year for these your neck of the woods, Greater Milwaukee
Open
tickets, and this one is the only one in a PSA slab that's signed by Tiger.
And the cool thing is, when it was signed. It was signed.
Yeah, you got that photo evidence there.
And with these kids, man, just looking like.
And he was a star right off the bat. You could see.
Yeah, the big crowds for him, and it was crazy because they announced it very late. It wasn't like they knew, we're gonna debut him here. It was something that it was kind of done in very fast. It was done, there wasn't a lot of planning into it, and he showed up there.
Did you go to that?
I did not go to it.
Oh, Tony, come on.
I do have Chris Narrett's ticket though somewhere. I gotta find it. I don't know where it is. I have it somewhere.
Of course, Narrett was there.
Yes. He'll be in Milwaukee tomorrow night. We also have a 1970 Ernie Banks 500th home run ticket. Not a lot of these out there. The Cubs back during that time period weren't always
not great.
Were not competitive, so there wasn't a lot of reason to go to the ballpark other than to maybe have a couple beers and sit in the bleachers.
Sure.
But very low pop on this ticket. And this one is, there's only been 23 that have been graded by PSA. And, there's a lot of people collect 500 home run club stuff. This is probably one of the nicer Banks tickets you could have.
Yeah. And a fan favorite, of course.
Yes, he was.
And of course, we have some Jordan tickets, and this one is from his 1984 NBA debut against the Washington Bullets, the dawning of a new era in the NBA right there, and a great looking one. It's the Bulls ticket, so you got the Bulls logo front and back, and the red was used. It was there in the stadium, and as we said, Jordan tickets have been going crazy, so if you want to get a piece of the action and add that to your collection, that's tomorrow night. And really interesting tickets. Of course, we have some great 5-figure, high-value, prestigious tickets. But the thing I love about the ticket genre is those moments that you remember. You don't always remember a player debut. I don't remember Kobe's debut. I was into the NBA, but I don't remember that game. This one, I do remember. The first time I ever bought pay-per-view, so this is the 1997 Tyson Holyfield 2 ticket signed by Mike Tyson. This is the bite fight where he bit off Holyfield's ear during the fight. So I love this because everybody remembers that event. Even if you weren't watching, there was a ton of people watching. But if you don't, it was the biggest news story the next day. It's one of the most unbelievable things that's ever happened in a sporting event.
I remember that was the first time I ever saw Tyson fight.
Okay.
And came to my house and we watched it, and to see the reactions of the people there,
everybody
was worth the price of the pay-per-view, because people were like, what did I just see happen?
And I remember that, it's so loud at a boxing match. The crowd is just going crazy the whole time. And then it happens, and Holyfield's jumping up. He pulls away. He's jumping up and down. And then when he pulls his glove away, the blood just came out. And for a moment, the crowd was silent because it was just like, what happened?
What did we just see? And then Bedlam.
Yes, of
then
course.
And then Tyson just went crazy. And I mean, it's one of the.
And this is 1997, so no internet, no cell phones, no camera phones. So it was just word of mouth, and the fight ended there. And the thing I love about this is that it's signed. So someone had to go up to Mike Tyson and ask him to sign this
that ticket
from his worst professional moment, maybe the loss to Buster Douglas, but hard to argue that isn't the lowest moment of his career, right there.
I mean, for guys our age, it's a moment you'll never forget. You remember where you were.
Yes.
And yeah, that was craziness. And especially then after the fight with the interviews and everything and trying to get to Tyson. They were trying to get to Tyson.
Couldn't explain it, and it was just, like you said, Bedlam. So a historic moment, notorious moment, an infamous moment. But I like that about the ticket genre is when you see it, you think about watching it. Another great one here that you probably don't remember this game, but you've definitely seen it. So this is a 1985 Chicago Cubs Montreal Expos ticket. What could have happened? This is the game where they filmed the scene in Ferris Bueller where he plays hooky at Wrigley Field. So you've got Ferris and Cameron and Sloan at the game. Ferris catches a foul ball even. And of course, Rooney, the principal's at a bar. The game's on. He's watching the game, and then he looks down, and then Ferris catches the foul ball. And then when they cut away from Ferris, he looks back up at the game. He just missed it, of course. But an iconic movie. Everybody loves that movie. That's a very famous scene. You got Cameron going, swing, right after that. So this is just a cool niche ticket. But when I saw it, I knew we had to talk about it.
And there can't be a lot of them out there.
No.
I mean, it has to be a little
Who saved these?
Yeah, who would have thought? I mean, just a regular.
But I went back and watched the movie, which is great. Totally holds up. But in that scene, they're sitting in the middle of a completely full section. The stadium's pretty much half full. So they had to have the whole setup there. And, this person probably said, oh, keep this. They were filming a movie here.
And it turns into that.
What do you got next, Tony?
Bo Jackson, NFL debut. And again, the only graded exemplar. Sorry. And Bo signed the ticket nicely and put NFL debut.
And the date.
And he dated it. And, again, I mean, Bo was a big deal, but he played baseball and then played football after baseball. So it wasn't like the first game of the season was when he was making his debut. This is a game, when was it? November 1st. So it's during the middle of the season, basically.
Right.
And Bo Jackson, was bigger than Michael Jordan. And to our generation, he was, he's that once in a lifetime athlete.
Yeah. For people like us and a little bit older, he's an iconic figure, and that is a cool ticket that there are not many out there that even exist.
And he really helped take the game to a different level as far as commercials going. Bo knows. I mean, that was the biggest thing. Nike made so much headway, and made so much.
The Beckett with him on the cover.
Yes.
With the shoulder
everybody wanted that one. The black and white photo, the scorecard. So Bo Jackson was the biggest thing in sports.
This next one is one of my favorite tickets. I recently discovered it just last year when these ticket prices started going crazy. But a real piece of world history here. This is the 1958 World Cup, Brazil versus USSR ticket stub. This was Pele's World Cup debut. He is the most popular still and the greatest soccer player of all time. He changed the game worldwide. He changed the perception. He changed the U.S. when he came and played for the Cosmos. That's when every little kid started playing soccer in the U.S. It wasn't till then, before then, nobody played soccer, but he came to the Cosmos and changed that. So a huge moment there when he made his debut. And also that game was the first time he wore number 10, which is the most iconic. It's like 23, 7, 3. All the big players now, Messi, wear number 10. But Brazil did not give the World Cup their uniform numbers, so they were randomly assigned by FIFA, and he just randomly got number 10, and then now it's the number everybody wears in homage to him, and then the next generation, because Messi wore it in homage to him, they're going to be wearing number 10, so it's going to keep going. It's like, Jordan and LeBron wearing 23 and just passing it on. So a huge moment. Those tickets are so fragile. Very few have survived, and that is the finest example right there.
And we've talked about it, in the office for a long time. Let's be honest, soccer is the world's #1 sport by far.
Yeah, it's
not even close. And for the longest time, the collectibles, they didn't get the money that they probably should have.
Right.
And you're starting to see that change now. You're starting to see soccer, tennis, golf. You start to see these other sports start to go and get more and more and more. And Pele debut.
That's the finest known right there, Pop 1 of 1. And speaking of soccer tickets, this is another important debut here. This is the 2005 Lionel Messi Argentina national team debut here. And this ticket is a beautiful piece of art. Some tickets, there's not much to it. It's just text. But this one, obviously, they went all out. So a beautiful one here. It's large. It's 4 inches by 8 inches. And it's from August 1705, Argentina and Hungary. An 18-year-old Messi went out there to represent Argentina for the first time. So that's cool. It's a great display piece. The greatest player in the world right now. So a very cool, and we have some great soccer debut tickets. If you're into the beautiful game and the ticket market, tomorrow's going to be a big night for you. Speaking of Messi, we've got some incredible Messi cards as well. So let's start with this one. I am a big fan of this. This is the 2016 Panini Select Lionel Messi. And a lot of 10s on this. This is the Select Few Gold. So as we said, Messi's number 10. This is a PSA 10, and it's number 10 out of 10.
Oh,
so
wow.
Some very cool little extras there for that one. And the beautiful beauty shot there by our photography department. Not bad. So a very cool one there. And another great Messi one that I saw the other day, so definitely wanted to talk about it. This is the 04 Mega Cracks La Liga Messi rookie. Great image of him there. It's a BGS 9.5. This is the highest graded example here. So we're seeing great prices for the top of the pops. This is this one for Messi, as we said, soccer, the most popular sport in the world. He's the most popular player currently, the best player. And that is a mammoth rookie from Messi. And then, of course, we'll be remiss if we didn't have a Ronaldo card that we talked about also. This is the 03 Upper Deck Manchester United Ronaldo Gold, a PSA Mint 9. This is number 2 of just 7. And it's in a Mint 9, it's Pop 1, none higher. So this one's at $45,000 right now, and I think it's got some room to go still tonight. But you got the top tier footy right here. So we've got some great soccer examples, and they're going to close tonight. And when you were talking about those sports outside the Big Four, we've got some great offerings from that. What do you like?
2003 Net Pro Serena Williams Court Authentic Series, BGS 7.5, with a nice vintage early signature from her. When you talk about the best of the best, she is known as probably the top female tennis player of all time.
Tony, she's got 23 Grand Slam titles. That's more than any man or woman.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So
that's incredible.
Yeah, she's at the top. You got the King Richard movie,
which was really, really good.
Yeah, I liked it a lot.
I did see it. It was really, really good. And
when people are telling your life story in the movies, you are an icon. She's a fashion icon. She's done a great job hosting events. She hosted the Met Gala a few years ago. So she's definitely out there. I mean, obviously, an incredible athlete and the best in her sport. But she's doing all this outside. She has a great fashion line. So she's going to be in the public eye for a long time, even after the career is over. So getting in on the base level with a rookie like this, and we have the record for a female card, and it's a Serena card, an 03 Net Pro, 163,000 earlier this year. So we expect that to see a great number as well.
I think so.
And Tony, I can't believe this one wasn't on your list. So I'm going to talk about it.
What is it? What is it?
It's the 1982 Cosmos Hulk Hogan. It's the finest Hulk Hogan rookie on the planet, brother. Amazing card, made in Japan. It's the odd size. It's almost like a T206.
Yeah, it's a smaller card. Yeah, it is.
So
look at those borders. I mean, those black borders.
Full black, like we talked about with the 71 tops. So this is a PSA Gem Mint 10, 1 of 1, the highest graded. 82, a huge year. Vince McMahon bought the league from his dad. He handpicked Hulk Hogan to be the face of it. Good decision? Great decision.
I would say so.
And also that year, Rocky 3 came out, and Hulk Hogan made his big screen debut as Thunder Lips when he took
the
on
ultimate meatball versus the ultimate male. Yes.
In the exhibition. And he was great in it. He was, a big bully. And then as soon as it's over, they were best friends. It was all just an act for him. So a big year. Obviously, wrestling has gone to the stratosphere since this came out. Really hard to find card. And this is the finest one out there.
And such a condition-sensitive card, too.
And wrestling is so big in Japan, still is. But back then, it was as big there as it was here. You had so many wrestlers going to Japan, all those famous stories of Andre the Giant on the flights, having to use the hotels in Japan.
He's got 2 seats and just sitting there.
So the Japanese card, I love that angle to it. Very excited to see what that does tonight. Brother.
You're not going to rip off your shirt or anything, are you?
Maybe later.
Okay,
Stay tuned.
Okay. Oh, boy.
Apologies if that does happen. But we're going to take another quick break. You got 30 minutes before extended bidding begins. Oh, and Tommy the Man. We've got the Mavericks up 42 to 39. Do or die game 6 versus the Suns. So we're going to talk about some of the collections we have. Maybe we'll talk about some Luka and Chris Paul cards that we have going on tonight. Tony, what's going on the big board over there?
Let's take a look. Recent bid activity.
There it is.
40,000. Oh, sorry. For the Jamal Lewis. That just got hit. So that one just went up. 1971 Topps Don Money. PSA 9. 270. Right now. Great third baseman who was with the Milwaukee Brewers. I remember watching him.
That's impressive pull right there.
Yes. 1909 T206 white border near set. 31,000 right now. So you're starting to see things move. You're starting to see people.
We're going to get ready
those bids in
for fun time. Under 30 minutes to get your bids in for session 1.
28 minutes.
Session 2 and 3, you can keep bidding. But Tony, one of my favorite departments at Heritage, other than
you've got a lot of them.
I know. There's a lot. Is our historical department, and they sell some momentous pieces of history. Let's take a look at a couple of them.
Hi, my name is Curtis Lindner. I'm the director of Americana at Heritage Auctions. I'm here to talk about one item in our June 11th signature sale. It's a pretty remarkable artifact from Boston, Massachusetts. Actual tea leaves from the Boston Tea Party that occurred on December 16th, 1773 at Griffith's Wharf in Boston. At that time, the American colonists, they were frustrated and angry with Britain about imposing taxation without representation in Parliament. So what the colonists did after the British East India Tea Company came into Boston Harbor, colonists dumped 342 chests of tea into the harbor. Britain did not want to get rid of this tax. They got rid of some taxes, but they didn't want to get rid of the tea tax because they drank 1.2 million pounds of tea per year. So it made sense for Great Britain not to get rid of this tax. And this event was the first act of defiance against British rule by the colonists. It showed Great Britain that the Americans wouldn't take taxation, tyranny, sitting down, and it rallied American patriots across all 13 colonies fighting for independence. This is a remarkable portion of tea. It comes with impeccable provenance, how it descended through the family, and we're offering this again in our June 11th sale.
The thing I love about that one is somebody back then knew that tea from the Boston Tea Party was important and kept it. That is a collector right there.
That is, yeah, you're right. That is impressive.
So unreal. Check out our historical department. They sell some amazing things that you won't even believe, just like that. But speaking of history, there's modern history going on right now. And this is one of my favorite cards here. This is the 07 Upper Deck SP Kevin Durant. Proud Longhorn over here, Tony.
Yes, you are.
The greatest basketball player the mighty Longhorns have ever produced. A lot of players in the NBA currently, though, from Texas, but great card here. The PSA Gym Mint 10 with the Auto 10, only $2.99 made. And I like the action shot of the Slim Reaper dribbling.
He's
there.
so effortless.
Yes.
I mean, he makes it look so easy that, I mean, it's not that easy, I know.
When I first saw him out on the Frank Irwin court, I saw his second game as a Longhorn.
You saw him and, oh, wow.
And man, just like you said, it seemed like he was not even trying, and he was just dominating, and he has continued that at the highest level. So great rookie from Durant there. And of course, being remiss if we didn't talk about LeBron tonight. Tony has
I haven't heard that name in a little while.
They didn't make the playoffs this year. I think they'll be back next year.
Well, I got a feeling there's going to be a lot of great LeBron stuff coming out next year because he is going to break Kareem's scoring record.
Yes.
And I don't think anybody thought that record would ever be even approached.
Yeah, because Kareem did it at such a high level for so long. You know, back then players did not play that long.
No.
And breaking his record is an incredible achievement. So this is the 05 Upper Deck Collection, LeBron, the Noble nameplates, PSA Gem Mint 10, number 9 of 25. And you got the 3-color patch there. That's the O from LeBron. So cool when you can identify it.
Wow.
On-card auto. That's a beautiful LeBron card and a great action shot. So someone's going to be very happy with that purchase.
I think the
tonight.
market for his stuff is going to go up.
And now, after the modern, we're going to go back, Tony.
Like back to like Mike and era?
You're supposed to say how far are we going back? And then I say way back. So this, you may remember in February, we sold 2 1912 E300 plow cards. I had never seen them before. It's one of the scarcest cards in the hobby. Very few exist. And then now we've got another one. This is a Ty Cobb in a PSA 4. Just an amazing card. I love the imagery on this.
I love the background of the stadium. You know?
So the Plows card were a vanity project for Chocolatier. And he spent way too much money, almost bankrupted his chocolate company. His chocolate company was delivery. It was like Tiff's Treats. They'd bring it to you. Can you imagine that? In the early 1900s. So the cards are oversized. He used the best photography available. And you can tell there is great detail to these. We sold the Honus Wagner in February, and he's coming out of the batter's box after getting a hit. You can see the detail on the puff of dirt. And this one has the same detail. A beautiful card and just incredibly rare. So I had to mention that one, of course. And now a rookie card. We have another great collection, the Joe Garagiola Collection, consigned by his family. Great people. And, you know, I didn't know too much about Garagiola before we started selling his collection. But what a character. So
yeah, I mean, I remember him from the game of the week. That's what, you know, what I remember was he was the announcer. And then he was
hosted the Today Show.
He did so many different things. And
he put out albums of monologues and jokes and singing. So a great one here. This is his personal rookie card. And these collections we've seen some incredible results for. Al Kaline's personal rookie card, Willie McCovey's, and like that. So this is Garagiola's, and what an issue for it to be his rookie card, and it meant so much to him that he framed it. So we kept it in the frame. A lot of talk, should we take it out? Should we get it graded? But this is how he had it. He had it hanging on his wall.
In his office.
Winning bidder, if you want to get it graded, you can, but we decided to leave that up to the collector, and it's just so cool.
And
Love
the
that
unique
one. The
thing
51 Bowman.
He was a baseball card collector. Of course, he had the Honus Wagner card, and he had some other ones that I believe are featured.
One of
in
my
this
favorite
auction.
heritage stories. He traded one of his game-worn uniforms, which nice player, but what's a Garagiola game-worn uniform worth? He traded it for a T206 card that we sold for $2.5 million. So one of the greatest trades in hobby history.
Yes,
right there.
Joe Garagiola. Unbelievable.
So you were involved with this collection as well.
Yeah. And you know, he had a lot to do with the with helping out former players with the baseball assistance team, BAT, and he was one of the guys who really went to bat for them, but no, who really.
Oh, you should have gone with
that.
it.
Yeah,
Come on, Tony.
I missed it.
Don't be afraid. I've seen you miss a few of those.
Yes, you have. But he really helped them and raised a lot of funds. And this was his executive, the Alan H. Bud Selig Executive Leadership Award presented to Joe Garagiola. It's an absolutely stunning award with the base. Then the base on the on the wooden base, and
Beautiful award.
Yeah, and he just did so much for them that this is kind of like a lifetime achievement award.
Yes,
and just a really neat piece from his collection.
This one, another award, a ring. So very famous for being an announcer and what he did behind the microphone. So this is his Ford C. Frick award ring for achievement in broadcasting. And I think that's a very cool award, not given out very often. You know, when you think about how many legendary broadcasters there are, very few have received this. So it's a cool award and very hard to get. And of course, you're not, Tony, we're not going to win this.
No.
If you're watching us, you're probably not going to get awarded this. So if you want one, you gotta bid.
That's one of the things that a lot of the families that the players keep, you rarely see them offered. And Garagiola was just, he was a baseball lifer.
Yes.
He played, then he was then he did the announcing, then he was also an executive. So he did so much for that sport for 40-50 years. And it's a really neat piece of his collection.
That's another one that's like a lifetime achievement award for devoting decades and decades to it. What else you got there,
So
Tony?
we've got some unique items that actually Charles Schultz creations that feature Joe DiMaggio, and what he would
Joe
do.
DiMaggio.
I'm sorry, Joe Garagiola. Oh my gosh!
So they were friends.
I may get an email or text on that one.
Charles Schultz, the creator and cartoonist of Peanuts, he was friends with Garagiola.
So when he would create artwork of him, he would send it to him. So he would send his original artwork.
He often was mentioned in Peanuts comics he was. The punchline or just a reference to him. So he would give him the original artwork. And in our comics department, who sells original art with landmark results, Charles Schultz original artwork just goes bananas.
He's the guy
in those departments. Yes, because there is not much out there, and it's so popular. It is omnipresent everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Peanuts, even though it isn't being new anymore, Charles Schultz has passed, so there's no new Peanuts strips out there, but his artwork goes crazy. And the most valuable, I've called some auctions with it, the most valuable ones are the ones with baseball references. Here you've got him giving them to a personal friend with a reference to him is so cool.
And it's got Charlie Brown and it's got Snoopy. It's got both of them. Now this one here, I think so what he would do is he would sign, when he would sign for personal friends, he wouldn't sign Charles Schultz, he'd sign Sparky, which was his nickname. So that's why this one is signed the way that it is. And you got Snoopy with the baseball bat in hand and just a great inscription as well. So, Joe Garagiola didn't just collect baseball stuff. he collected everything.
Yes.
And this one here, again, original artwork. Anytime you can offer
and with
that.
the Sparky autograph, which adds another premium
Absolutely.
For collectors of Peanuts art, because they knew it was given to a personal friend.
Yes.
Most of the time he signed Charles Schultz,
Schultz,
but if it was going to a friend, it was Sparky. So very few are that. And in line with that, I saw this in the collection. This is my favorite part of this collection. So it's a baseball signed by Charles Schultz, and then he added a picture of Charlie Brown pitching on the mound. How about that?
That is
Tony?
so cool. I mean, and it's not just the autograph; it's the drawing. There can't be many that have ever been offered before.
I had the highlights from our auction are up in our gallery. I put a video up on our social media if you want to look. It's crazy. We have our American art auction, which just had some landmark prices and records for the incredible art from J.C. Leyendecker and Norman Rockwell and Maurice Sendak. So all that was hanging up. We had our silver department had an auction this week with incredible results as well. All that was on display. They were having their preview, and then our stuff was up. So a lot of people who were art enthusiasts or silver enthusiasts, a little more high-minded people were coming over and looking at our material, and that baseball was the most popular.
Really?
They could not believe it because Peanuts cuts across all lines. Whatever you do, whatever you collect, even if you don't collect, Peanuts. And I would not be surprised to see an art collector or a silver collector win that ball tomorrow night because it was getting so much attention.
I wonder how long it took him.
Probably not long. He's done so many, but it was so funny.
On a baseball,
yeah,
it's a different
not
exterior
easy.
than
not
what you would
easy.
typically see. And I just wonder how long. I mean, just think like I said, it's not the autograph. It's that he took the time and did that rendering.
So that in the display case is sitting next to Ty Cobb, Honus Wagner signed ball, a couple Babe Ruth balls, Jackie Robinson signed ball, and all those people that were in that other department didn't even notice. They were like, look at this Charlie Brown ball. I couldn't believe it. So love that one. So some great items in the Garagiola collection. It's very large, so take a look. You can find something in there you like. And then we have another baseball collection, Tony, Ted Simmons collection.
Who should have been in the Hall of Fame years ago.
Yes.
Great stats, great leader. And we've got, his collection, a lot of it's got to do with the St. Louis Cardinals and Milwaukee Brewers, even at the end with the Atlanta Braves. But he was also an executive, was a very high-ranking executive. I think with the Pirates, he might have been the GM, but he had a long career. This one here, 1981, Milwaukee Brewers. Yes, I'm a fan of Ted Simmons, but beautiful classic look with
Great
the pinstripes. That color just jumps out at you. I mean, but he also played for the Cardinals, and he wore the powder blues. We have a powder blue. We have his first jersey. We've got a lot of his catching gear, and just it's a really
home run baseballs.
Yes,
are in there.
I wrote a lot of those, so I have a lot of those. I remember.
Really extensive collection. For you said an underappreciated Hall of Famer. It took too long for him to get in there. But some great stuff. You can really see the whole line of his career in this collection because he got a little piece from every stage.
And, but we have like his minor league hats.
Yes.
And I mean, you want to talk use on a hat? That is about as much use as I've ever seen on a hat before.
But if you like those Brewers and Cardinals looks from that era, and who doesn't, some great items in there that you should check out. Tony, we haven't talked hockey yet tonight. So we've got some amazing hockey cards we're going to talk about. Just over 10 minutes left to get your bids in. So get in there.
Don't get left out, because if it's 10:01, it's too late.
Yes.
You can't go back. Trust me.
So I love this one. The 05 UD, the Cup, Sidney Crosby, RPA, BGS 9 with a 9 auto, number 96 of 99. The Cup, of course, was a huge shift for hockey cards, really making high quality hockey cards for the first time, and perfect rookie class to start with Sidney Crosby, the undisputed number one pick. So good timing. And a beautiful card. I like that patch there. It's nicely placed in there with the squared off design and a nice autograph from the kid. So that is a fantastic Crosby card. And then what else we got here?
Playoff time in hockey.
It's playoff time, of course.
They always say Game 7 in hockey is like nothing else.
Yeah. So we've got the Stars and the Mavs go in here locally, and I think they're both headed towards Game 7s. So it's going to be a good time at the AAC. But I love this hockey card. It's got such a great story behind it. It's one of the rarest cards in the entire hobby, but especially in hockey. It's the 1923 V145 William Patterson Bert Carbeau card. What can you tell me about Bert, Tony?
I can't tell you a lot about him. He looks
Yes.
like a tough guy, though. I mean, I look at that.
So I can tell you this great story here. So William Patterson made this set. It was 40 cards, and you could redeem a complete 40 card set for a pair of hockey skates. And he did not want to give out too many of those skates. So this card, very limited release. It's kind of like the Gaudy Lashaway that he just didn't want to give out skates. So it was a 40 card set. Card number 25 here was very limited release. There's only 6 in the combined PSA and SGC censuses. Wow. So super rare card. He was a good player, but I think it was just randomly picked which one they weren't going to produce. And this one is the punch stamp canceled one. So there's only 3 in the combined census with the punch on it. So incredibly rare. I love
that.
Those,
is neat. I
love those marketing stories, and I love the Gaudy Lashaway story that you had to mail it in. So this is right along the lines of that. And then, of course, we have another collection, Tony. Can you believe it? And another luminary, Patrick Waugh.
Yeah, I'll tell you. I mean, that collection, the wear on the uniforms, it's good use. A lot of these things photo matched, comes directly from him with a letter of provenance from him. What a collector. And it's not just, uniforms. You've got one that you're going to be talking about that, came directly from his collection.
So this is cool. We talked a little bit earlier about with the Garagiola rookie, a player-owned card. So this is Patrick Waugh's 1966 Topps Bobby Orr rookie card. And how cool is that he had it? This is one of the most desirable cards in hockey. Of course, or one of the game's most legendary players, and then to have one of the most legendary goalies copy of this card, I love that. And it's a PSA 6, but that hardly even matters. It's the panache of the collection. It comes with a letter of provenance signed by Waugh saying that this was his. You got the classic TV design on this issue. So I just love thinking about these athletes, especially upper tier Hall of Famers, as collectors as well. And obviously he got it graded. We did not get it graded.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
exactly. Yeah,
you can see it's the old PSA. We weren't going to change it out because that's
the way he had it.
Thinking about Waugh, waiting for mail day to come in. What's the grade going to be? And there it was. I love that.
And now we have coming up in our summer card catalog sale, we have a lot of his cards as well from years,
he was a great collector. He was really into it. So more to come, but one of the most iconic hockey cards and owned by one of the greatest players of all time. But as you said, some great gamers from Waugh. What do you got over there?
Yeah, so we've got, what do we have up first? I think we picked 3 of them here. I mean, again, directly from him. This one here is 2002, 2003. And, I'm sorry. That's the wrong one. Nope.
Yeah, the one when he tied Sawcheck. You got that one.
Yes. So this one here,
the white one.
Again, came directly from him, photo matched to the game. And, it's got everything. It's got the migrate stamp. It's got good use. You got photo match and a letter from Patrick. So you talk about one of the nicest Patrick Waugh jerseys that you could own. It's this one when he tied Sawcheck for the most wins, I believe, for a goalie. So, to any fan of his, this is one you'd really want to own. It's at $10,000 right now. I think this stuff is going to absolutely go crazy tomorrow because we've got helmets, we've got the net from when he
pads, the gloves.
It's everything. And just think of how much time and effort he put in during his
Goalies
career.
have such cool equipment.
They do. Yeah, they do. And I like that on some of them, he would have his kids' initials on the pads and just, a lot of personality to these items.
So this one I have, this is the road jersey from 02-03, photo match to a game against the Ducks, his final regular season road jersey of his career. So collectors love those bookend items. Here's one. I remember that look so well. Living in Dallas, there was some great rivalry with the Avalanche and the Stars.
Is
I just
this
remember
the one
him.
that's got the letter from the team?
Yes.
Saying, here's your, okay, yeah. When I saw that, I kind of chuckled when I saw that.
But, you know, I just remember he was so frustrating when your team was playing with him. You just couldn't get past him. And he did it so long. And I remember that maroon jersey just appearing like a wall in front of the net, and there was no way to get it through. And so aggravating watching it. They had a lot of playoff matchups with the Stars, and to have it come from him, of course, is great. And you can't have a great goalie collection without masks. We've got masks in here. There's also one from Montreal. But this is the one from the Avalanche. I picked this one because I love the design on it.
Oh, that airbrush design. And it's got a letter from, I think it's got a letter from the manufacturer, I believe.
Correct. So this is the last mask he had made. And, you know, it became such a big thing in the 90s and then forward with the artwork on it. And goalies would take so much pride in what it looked like. And I love the mountain on this one. On the side, it's the evil, sneering mountain, which is what he was. If you were the opponent, you just couldn't get past it. And so it's signed on the outside, it's signed on the inside. And then I never played hockey, so I didn't know this, and I definitely wouldn't have played goalie because you have to be insane to do that. But it has its own carrying case, zip-up carrying case for the mask. Of course, it makes sense. But it's monogrammed, as you can see, and then he signed that as well.
It's got the embroidery. I love it. Yeah.
So very cool. And there's some amazing stuff. And the other thing about the Waugh collection, so he's got his gamers, he's got the cards, but then he's also got game used jerseys and sticks from the other luminaries of his era. You know, Lindros and
there's a nice Gretzky stick in there that. And it's game specific because they did a special coating like on his sticks, and it's got it. I didn't even notice it, but it's got it on
a Hasek jersey. You know, they were the two greatest goalies in the league at the time, and you know he must have given it to him in a game where they faced off.
Exactly.
And that mutual respect. I'm sure it was a 0-0 tie. But some really great stuff. He's one of the greatest players of all time. So very honored to handle his collection. And this is all going to be selling tomorrow. So if you're into hockey, there's something in there for you.
Well, I just love those masks because they have so much personality to them. They're all unique. They're all, you know, they mirror the player a little bit. And just with the provenance and then from the manufacturer, there's just so much headed in the right direction on that.
Look at that sneering mountain on there, just giving you the eye, like, nice try.
You're not getting through here.
All right, we are going to take a quick break. You've got just 4 minutes for session 1 to get your bids in before extended bidding begins. Session 2 is tomorrow. You can bid all night and all day tomorrow. And session 3, you've got 48 hours to go. Tony, what do we got going on the big board over there?
Trevor Lawrence, Panini Absolute, 2,600.
Could be yours. You could still get a bid in.
Oh, let's see. Charles Barkley, rookie, PSA 9, 650. The Trae Young rookie patch autograph, 22,000. Let's see. 1955 Clemente, 7.5, 24,000. So
very nice.
Yeah, it's getting to be time. 3 minutes.
All right, and we got the Mavs check. Yeah, Mavs up 15. That'll keep the locals happy. So we're gonna take a quick break, and because I'm so into our historical department, Tony, studied history, University of Texas, we're going to take another look at an amazing historical item coming up in their auction, and we'll be right back. We'll talk about some of the stuff in session 2 and session 3 and some of the card prices that are going on tonight.
Hello, my name is Joshua Harmoning, and I am putting up the flag of the Lion of Boston, an American vessel sailing out of Boston that sunk off the coast of Scotland in 1835. It was the ship's maiden voyage, and it sailed out of Boston. It was a cargo and passenger vessel, and it ran into a storm, a very large storm off the coast, and was dashed against the cliffs when the captain, a young Alan Bursley, mistook the area that he was in for a harbor where he and 300 passengers were lost. So the flag was recovered after the wreck. Sometime later, the wreckage washed ashore and somebody was able to see it within the pieces that were strewn about the beach, and they recovered it. And interestingly enough, they hung onto it. They did not pass it along to anyone. They just kind of kept it private all the way from 1835 to 1905. So it sat in Scotland for that entire time before it was returned to the family of the Bursleys. And then when my step-grandfather, Alan Bursley, passed away, it kind of went back into the depths of obscurity where no one in his family or really in my family wanted it. And I came across it and I pulled it out and said, "This is amazing. Can I have this?" And my family said, "Yeah, absolutely. Sure." And so I snatched it up really excitedly and have been holding on to it since. I have imagined this ideal buyer, and I think of them as the Lion of Boston. It's somebody that's been successful in their life, and they have a lot of pride in their city and their area, and they have a great spot that's just waiting for a piece like this, and they have an appreciation for American history, and that excites me. So my experience with having this piece in my collection and being able to show it to people was amazing. They are always blown away. The reaction when somebody comes and looks, and the closer they look at it, the more blown away they are. The detail on it is amazing. You can see the hand stitching on every single piece of it. You can see the wear from its time on the bottom of the ocean and being drug out of there, and people were blown away. It's such a fantastic conversation piece. We could be lost at the bottom of the sea and then spend 70 years in a foreign land in someone's closet, only to resurface and then come back into the light.
Wow, amazing piece of history there, Tony. I love that department. We got some pieces of history too going on over here tonight. Man, some huge prices going on. Got the 51 Bowman Mantle in an 8. That's at $370,000. I looked at it a second ago. It was at $350. Now it's at $370. The Ruth rookies at $250. 52 Topps Mantle, of course. That's an SGC 6.5 at $130,000. That 71 Topps Thurman Munson in the 9s at $135,000. Wow. Love this one. 04 Upper Deck Trilogy, LeBron, Kobe, and Jordan sign. That's at $101.10.
That's a pretty good.
So someone pretty crafty with their bidding there.
Yeah.
They're trying to pull something over. Man, huge result here. I love the W600 Sporting Lifes, and this Eddie Plank one is so beautiful. Estimate of $25,000. It's at $82,000 right now. That's unbelievable. And no surprise, the Lou Gehrig exhibit is nearing $100,000 as well. That one is just PSA 2. Those are just impossible to get.
Tough.
So we'll keep talking about some of the prices for the cards that are going on. There's a lot of activity going on tonight. A lot of things tipping those six figures. But we've got the memorabilia is tomorrow night, and some amazing gamers over there.
Yeah, and a lot of the ones that we're talking about now are just, I think, very good investment opportunities for people. We've got Aaron Rodgers game used, unwashed, with team letter photo match to 3 games, which is really rare because usually, you can maybe get 1 game, but 3 for a modern player, it's pretty rare. And right now,
4-time MVP now.
4-time MVP.
Yeah.
Could use a couple more Super Bowls maybe, but we'll see what happens. They're going to need some receivers at some point. But just a beautiful, beautiful Rodgers.
Who'd they pick up in the second round? They got another receiver in the second round.
They did.
Because Adams was a second rounder and Jordy Nelson was a second rounder.
They were.
So they've had some good luck with that.
Hopefully this new guy will his dad was actually drafted by the Packers. Didn't make the team.
Oh, really?
In like '93, I think it was. His dad was drafted by the Packers.
Cool.
Cool.
Get to see him in person in November.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it when they're able to photo match it to multiple games.
Yeah, yeah.
That is a great addition, and it's very rare in the modern era for them to, especially in football, to wear it multiple games. But players are superstitious. If any player was going to be set in their ways and superstitious, Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense from what we know. So that is fantastic.
And
this next one, though,
the next one here, Ray Lewis game used for an entire season, I believe. This helmet was worn. There's use on it.
Think about how much pain that.
Oh my goodness, my goodness! And when you think of Ray Lewis, you think of hard hitting. Well, this helmet has battle scarred to the tilt.
Yes.
Heavy use, photo matched up and down. Right now, it's at 16,000. We have a 10,000 estimate on it, so it's far exceeded that number. And you're starting to see
that top tier of all-time linebackers. When you're talking about the Nitschkes and people like that, he's right in there. We got that Super Bowl ring. I mean, you could say he was the whole reason they won that Super Bowl.
Yeah, and when you think of that franchise, he's the first thing that you think.
Yes. Of. That dance. Tony, can you do that dance?
Well, that'll be next time.
We don't want you to run into anything.
Yeah, you told me don't touch anything. You don't want me to.
But yeah, that is a great look. I love the logo they came up with when they moved to Baltimore, and the black and the purple really fits that franchise because they have become known for being so hard-nosed, and that's the guy who
they're known for their defense so much, and he's the top guy of his era or of any era.
Yeah. I'm going to talk about, these are in session 3. We've got some great non-sport signed baseballs that really caught my attention. So, Tony, what's the deal with these celebrity signed baseballs? Like this Jerry Seinfeld one here. Big fan of Seinfeld. Love his show and his work, and he's a huge baseball fan.
He is. Mets, right?
Mets fan.
Okay.
So cool to see signed baseball from him. And looks like he was kind of discovering how difficult it is to sign a baseball here. You can see he went over the seams right there. No veteran goes on the seams like that. So that was Jerry. I'm sure he's signed a few, but if you're not doing it all the time, it's very difficult.
It's gotta be tough.
Tony signs them all the time. His looks great. This next one, so I rewatched The Sopranos this year.
I watch it a lot.
Holds up. In fact, I'm prepared to say that it's one of the greatest comedies of all time, as well as one of the greatest dramas. I don't know why we never got a Paulie and Christopher spin-off show. Just like all the moments in between what you saw on the Sopranos episodes, that would have been so great. Could still do it. But this is a Sopranos cast signed baseball, which is awesome.
Can you imagine trying to get all of them?
This must have been an event or something, because you've got Christopher on here, you got Paulie on here. I love that. You got Meadow, you got Junior, and you got Bobby on here. And nice, good signatures. Looks like some of them had signed a baseball before.
Yeah.
They knew what they were doing. But I know what you're thinking. You're saying, Mike, there's no James Gandolfini. Where's Tony on this one? Don't you worry, because this next one is a James Gandolfini single signed baseball, and that is awesome. One of the greatest actors of this generation. He really changed things as far as TV actors, and really brought gravitas to it, and that is an iconic role.
And I like how he inscribed Tony on there as well.
Put Tony on there. Sadly passed, of course, so he falls into that category that not going to be many of these out there. I'd never seen one before.
And the thing is, when you hear him talk, to hear him as Tony and then how he was in real life talking, it's like two different people.
Totally different. Great acting jobs. Emmy winner. I believe he was nominated every year that it was on. So if you buy one of those, you got to buy.
You got to buy them both.
It's
a package deal.
That's a package deal. They're separate lots, but very cool. And then these next two, same thing. You're going to have to buy them both, because we've got the James Earl Jones signed baseball and then the Kevin Costner signed baseball. So obviously great baseball tie-ins there with Field of Dreams. We'll have the Field of Dreams game coming up again this year,
Oh,
right?
is
I think they're going to do it.
That was fun last year to watch.
It was great.
That was really neat to see.
But very cool to have them both there. You know, if you bid on it, they will come to your house. We'll send them right to you. A very cool item there, and we've got actually a lot of non-baseball player signed baseballs. Some great musicians signed baseballs. We've got a Bruce Springsteen signed ball. We've got a Roger Waters signed ball. We've got a Diana Ross signed ball. So if you're a single signed ball collector, those are some hard ones to get because a lot of times they're not going to do it well. They're not going to want to sign something that's difficult to sign. And where are you going to find them to sign
and security is so tight around the performers, the singers, the actors.
Especially now, even though we're post-pandemic, you know, there just isn't those face-to-face. A lot of those celebrities
like there used to be.
Don't want to do that anymore or be at these crowded shows or things like that. So some really unique baseballs in that session 3 signed by some musicians and actors and celebrities. Did I mention the Roger Waters one? That's cool. That's gotta be the only one on earth. You like Pink Floyd, how can you not have a Roger Waters?
Exactly. No, I mean there's I know we have some other ones coming up in our Sunday internet sales. A lot of unique names, just a lot of ones you don't typically see a lot either.
Yes. Tony, talk about some more. We got some more gamers coming up.
Oh, we've got some. We don't just have some gamers. We have some really good gamers. We got a Willie Mays game used bat, which in the last probably year and a half, they've almost tripled in price.
Yes,
we've
rightfully so.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you've seen the price for him. He was a $10,000, $12,000 bat. Now it's like 30, 40 grand. And this one here, 68 to 70. Graded a PSA game use 8.5. So pretty good use on this one. It's an Adirondack, which he used, later in his career. But I think a lot of people, investment-wise, the bat market's really strong right now. And you're seeing the Aarons, the Mays, Clement, you're seeing those go to a whole different level than what they have been before. And let's see what else we've got. Oh, Michael Jordan.
I like this. Good choice.
Yeah. This was really, really interesting. His personally worn FootJoy golf shoes and pants.
Yeah.
Which we got a lot of different styles of pants, and
if you're a golfer, those probably aren't going to fit you. Unless you're 6'6". But that's to have the whole ensemble.
Yeah, we did it, and we tried to make them color coordinated as much as possible.
The yellow ones are nice.
Yeah, there's some real funky designs, and definitely made for somebody of his size.
And golf is so huge in his life. He loves golfing and gambling on golf. But like we talked about in The Last Dance, there's a lot of scenes of him playing golf, talking about golf. So obviously a huge part of his life and what he does, especially now, I'm sure.
Well, I like the one where he's on the bus and Pippin, and he basically starts, all right, we got to go. We got tea time. And it's like everything is done. He doesn't care about anything. Let's get on the bus and let's get off to the golf course.
And we've got a lot of great Jordan signed items tomorrow, but there's also a Jordan signed golf photo, which you rarely see those. Right. And it's a nice post swing one. And he signed in a good spot. So, if you're a duffer, you should be in Dallas for the Colonial. It's one of the best PGA events going on right now. And if you do get in that pavilion, those have been there know what I'm talking about. That's the best party in town all weekend.
Is it really?
That's right.
I think Heritage should sponsor something there, maybe, and get us in there.
Let's talk about it. Chris Ivy, does this count as an iPower? Saying it on here. It's a great idea. But yeah, if you're into golf and who isn't a Jordan fan, the game worn Jordan golf stuff's very cool.
And he's not doing any signings. I don't think he'll ever do a signing again.
Oh, no.
And if he did, the pricing would be so
Would
high.
he do a signing? Tony, you just told me the story where he turned down an offer for $100 million for a 2-hour event.
I cannot believe that.
Can you imagine being that rich?
No.
Like, I'd rather just take a nap.
I mean, it's shocking. I mean, for 2 hours.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
I mean, once you get over 50 million, I'm in for the
Then-
2-hour
then-
event.
then you
Under
go-
that, I get it. But 100, I'd be there. Tony. Well, speaking of golf.
Yeah, this
my.
one here, when you think of Tiger Woods, and you think of Nike and all that, it's the Tiger Red on Sunday. We have one of these in this current auction, ends tomorrow night. I mean, you've got this bold signature on the front, number 1 of 1. Yeah. I mean, usually his autograph isn't anywhere near that size, but it's the red. Yeah. It's the one he's known for. You think of Belichick.
You almost imagine that mannequin fist pumping. Right there.
I mean, if there's a Tiger Woods match worn shirt, polo shirt, it's got to be this one right here. It's got everything. It's got great provenance, of course, from Upper Deck, who sold a lot of his match worn stuff. So just a really high quality Tiger Woods shirt. And again, if there's one you want to own, it would be this one.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
One more item, Tony.
I got one more.
Knock it out of the park.
Okay, Wayne Gretzky game used Edmonton Oilers stick.
Speaking of goats.
Yeah, and with him, we've seen the prices on these sticks, just like Mays, just like Aaron. They've pretty much doubled, if not tripled, in the last few years. Well, this one here is from when he was at his absolute top of the top, 84, 85. It's got the Jack the Gripper that he's famously known for. So just a really high quality Gretzky stick. And I think, if you have a hockey collection, this is something. This is one of the guys you got to have something with.
Yes.
I mean, it's just.
And, like you said, the prices have gone up. The authentication has gotten really on point. Shout out to Perry Nelson. And the technology and the knowledge for it all. So, and that's just like a bat. It's how they personalize it. It's such a personal attached thing to them and how they make it their own. And I mean, can you get any better than a Gretzky stick?
And that time period too. That time period. I mean, that's the absolute height of his career.
It's the prime right there.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
All right. So extended bidding is continuing for session 1. We want to thank everyone who has joined us tonight. As always, it's been a lot of fun. Obviously, 4,500 plus lots. We couldn't talk about everything. We picked out our favorites. But if there's something you'd love to see or hear or find out more about, you can reach Tony at
TonyG@ha.com or 214-409-1997.
Nobody calls anymore, Tony. Come on, man.
No.
Or you can reach me at MikeP@ha.com, or I run our sports social media platforms. Please message us on here. Love to hear from you anytime about what you want to hear or see. If you want to see a certain athlete, team, item, or something, we've got it. So,
and we're going to be on the road coming up. We'll be doing the Pittsburgh show next weekend, and then in the week after that, 2 weeks after that is the Toronto show. So come out and see us. We're going to be on the road quite a bit, picking up collections, visiting consigners.
Here locally, we'll be at the Dallas Card Show.
That's next
weekend. So looking forward to seeing everyone. And we're always very proud when we get to have a charity auction. And we've got one coming up that is sports related. Heritage as a whole does a lot of charity auctions. We have 50 plus departments and a lot of outreach. So this one is sports related. Tony, you were involved in this one.
I was, yeah. And there's some really, there's some great game used basketballs. One from Jordan, the Charlotte team.
Yeah. So hold on, let's back up and explain what all this is from. So this is a charity benefiting the Bethlehem University Foundation. Very important charity. And so the material has been given by George Felton, who's the director of college player personnel for the San Antonio Spurs. And he's on the board of directors for the Bethlehem University Foundation. So some great Spurs related items we talked about. Their incredible dynasty, that team, George was there, and still there, and some of these items are tied right into that.
Right from the organization.
So there's some artwork and a lot of autographed items, some autographed balls from important Spurs players. Of course, you've got Duncan. You know what I saw in there? The TNT halftime crew signed ball
that's
Ernie
really cool
and
item.
Charles and Kenny and Shaq on it. And then you've got a Popovich signed ball. Good luck getting one of those.
I'll tell you, there's some of those guys on those Spurs teams never do signings.
Yes.
Tim Duncan never does signings. Manu Ginobili never does signings. Tony Parker. And you're right, Popovich is really tough to
And
get
then
to.
Popovich has close ties with a lot of coaches and some people in his coaching tree. So there's a Roy Williams signed ball. There's a Coach K signed ball. There's a Jim Boeheim signed ball. So if you're into basketball, especially the Spurs, but some of those luminaries, that auction is going to be coming up next week. Every dollar is going to be going to the Bethlehem Foundation, which is a great organization that we are very proud to help support. So their focus is to assist the Bethlehem University in the Holy Land in achieving its mission and promoting Bethlehem University in the United States. So this is going to raise funds for that. Great basketball items, very cool items, and of course it goes to a great cause. So check out our social media. We'll let you know when that opens. And we want to thank everyone for joining us tonight. If you stayed with us from start to finish,
It goes by so fast every time, though.
And we're sorry Rob Rosen couldn't make it, but he goes to bed around 4 o'clock after he gets his Luby's dinner. So maybe we'll do an earlier show sometime for him. But as always, we have to thank our consigners for trusting us with your treasures. We are very humbled that you do, and we always hope you have enjoyed the experience. Thank you to all the bidders. Of course, we couldn't do what we do without you all, and good luck in the auctions tonight. And then we have to thank our huge team that helps us put on this show. It may seem like it's dozens of people, but it's just one guy who does it all. Tommy,
he's a rock
who is
star,
unbelievable, and he makes the videos. Oh, and there he's with the score. Mavs up 20. I like that. He's the man on cue right there. And then last but not least, we need to thank the Heritage Sports Operations team. They are the best in the business. They are the true heroes in our department. So they handle all the material that comes in, make sure it's treated properly and cared for from start to finish. They process it, they enter it, they make sure it gets imaged, described, authenticated, and then that it gets shipped out to you in a timely fashion. It is a thankless and very difficult job. I started there at Heritage way back in the day, and they are incredible. I don't know how they do it.
Yeah, I know. They do such a fantastic job for us. And I mean, my goodness, was it 4,400 lots?
4,500.
4,500 lots. That is a lot to process, to write, to do all of the behind the scenes work on it.
And next week, they'll be shipping them all out to you if you win it. And then it's right on to the next auction. Speaking of which, we have David Hall Part 9, the last installment of the amazing David Hall T206 collection, will be opening up soon. We have our June showcase auction, which will be opening at the beginning of June and running for 3 weeks. That's more incredible cards and memorabilia. Then we are still, for a short period of time, taking consignments for our summer card auction. That is coming up in July. And then, of course, we have the premium event in the industry every year, our summer platinum auction, which will be going on in August. And all the items from there will be on display at the National, and we can't wait to see you guys in Atlantic City. So for Tony and all of the Heritage team, thank you for joining us. Good luck in the auction, and we'll see you next time.